addictions, relationships and predictions, backsliding Christians, fitness. Stay tuned, go get a subscription. I hope you listening. God's my witness to mind your damn business. Mind your damn business.
Let's talk about it.
Your damn
Talk about it.
mind your damn business.
D-Him, let's talk about it.
What's up? What's up? What it do? What it do? Hey everybody. Hey Pammy Pooh. Hey Miss Sexy Ray. What's going on with you? What is going on out here in these YouTube streets? What in the world? What's going on, Blueberry Boots? Lisa Love, what's good with it? Raw Truth and Uncut. You know what it is, girl. We in the building. I can't wait to come over there and kick it with you. Every time I come over to Raw Truth and Uncut, she just be playing music, man, on me. I be like, man, she ain't nowhere on the channel. Just be playing music. I'm be trying to figure that thing out. Bridget, what's good? Chelsky, what's good? And each time I try to go over there, she was playing music. I must just caught her on the music days. What's going on, everybody? I am that somebody. What's good with it? Y'all come on in now. We you know how it go. D-Ham do a pop-up on you. You feel me? I'm just gonna do a pop-up and come with the goods. That's facts. That's facts. What's up, Josephine? Hey girl. Hey Rosanette, how you doing, girl? How you doing? Hold on, my niece is calling. Hold on. Okay, let me see if I can do it. It's my niece's birthday, y'all. Let me see if I can get her. Say hello. It's her birthday, March 23rd. She's live on YouTube. 68 people in the building. Go to my channel and look at yourself, okay? Matter of fact, hold on. You gotta go to my YouTube channel. Hold on. I'm gonna plug you in on another device too. So stay right there. I'm gonna put your Cash App up for your birthday, okay? Okay. All right. Put it in my chat. Go to my show on your phone, then call me back and put it in my chat, okay? Okay. All right. That's my niece that I raised, y'all. That's my sister's daughter that I took her in when my sister passed away and she graduated. Remember I showed y'all those pictures of her graduating? She lived with me during her getting her into high school and getting her to graduation. That was my job, to get her that diploma in her hand, and she did it, y'all. She did it. So let me see if I can get this up because I want her. Matter of fact, I could probably pull her up. I'm gonna tell her to grab the link. Yeah, because I'm gonna keep the platform like this for now. Hold on. We gonna talk to her. Hold on. Power off. Yes. She just happened to call me. She thought I forgot about her birthday. I supposed to have called her by now. Hold on, y'all. I got another call coming in. Give me a minute, y'all. I'm gonna try to bring her up. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna try to add her to my platform. Hold on, I'm just trying to get my niece up. Today's her birthday. I'm gonna try to get her to my show. So give me a second. Okay, I just sent her the link. Give me a second. I'm gonna make a banner real quick. Hold on. Edit this. Yo, you ain't on my show. You gotta grab the link. Go into that link I sent you. Okay, hang up. Go through it. Okay, give me a second. Trying to get her cash app up. Second. See if we can be a blessing to my niece. She is a single parent. She has a son. So y'all gonna find all of that out. She'll be able to tell you what it is. Hey girl.
Hey y'all.
There go Kyrie. That's what's going on. Say hello to the people. Do you see? You go to your chat too, so you can see what they're saying to you in the chat.
Okay.
So without going out, you gotta be able to work your. You
I
see the
can
chat?
I can see it, yes.
Okay, give me a second. I'm almost there with your cash app.
Oh
TW.
yeah. I'm getting ready for my birthday dinner, everyone. I'm about to get dressed and do my makeup.
Birthday dinner. So you gonna give me some pictures?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's what's
Thank
up.
you.
Let me know if I got your cash app right. You see it across the screen? Is that completely spelled right?
Yes, that's me.
Okay. Okay. So now you know your big uncle has been a part of a saga, right?
Mhm.
Have you been keeping up with it?
Yes, I keep up a little bit.
A little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay. What you want to tell the people about me or you, our relationship? What you want to tell them?
I want to tell them that my uncle is my favorite person ever, and I always say how much I love my uncle because I really do. And my uncle is like my father figure. And he been wanting to do YouTube for a very long time. And he finally is doing it. And I'm proud of him. And I'm so happy that all you guys love his podcast. He's so funny and entertaining.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that you guys are around. And I hope that you guys continue to support my uncle and show him love.
Thank you. Thank you. Where little baby boy at? Where you at?
He in the back.
Okay. All right. We ain't gonna get a chance to see him. But
Nah.
okay, well
Thank you, everyone.
yes. This is Kari, but her you wanna say you go by Kari?
My real name is Charisma.
Charisma.
I got a lot of charisma.
Yes, my sister named her that, and the relationship wasn't what it could have been. And right when it was time, my sister passed away, right?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so I stepped in around that time, and she came and lived with me, and the rest is history. She's a beautiful young lady now.
Thank
And her,
you.
and yes, beautiful young lady. And God's gonna do wonderful things with your life, right? So you
Yes.
just gonna keep going. So, um, but you want to read the chat? But you saying thank you to the people? Can you see
Yes,
it?
I was saying thank you. I was responding.
Okay. Now, when you get a Cash App, you gotta heart it too. So when you go into your Cash App, make
Mhm.
sure you hit a heart to just thank them that way, because that way they know you received it. And
Okay.
you can probably leave them a message as well, so you can really. They are really loving people on this YouTube, especially this family I'm a part of. They're
Mhm.
beautiful, lovely women and men. Big Chill in the building. Big Cheese, my bad. The Chill Room. Big Cheese is in the building. Um, this is my niece, y'all. This is my niece. My beautiful
Thank
niece,
you.
and today is her birthday. And I just went live, and she called me because she thought I forgot to call her, but we called, and they left a voice message
Thank you.
singing happy birthday to you earlier. So I was like, well, I'm gonna call her later. And it just so happened you called me right when I was getting ready to go live, because she thought I was gonna forget her. But
But I'm glad you didn't.
needless to say, you called at a good time because I can cue you into the show. And this is your first time on my podcast, right?
Yes, my first time.
Did you get your merch yet? You ain't get your merch? I ain't got no
No,
merch for
I
you
didn't
yet?
get
Okay.
anything.
Okay. Well, I gotta get that right. Um, but this is a good show, and I want to
Thank
actually
you.
have you come on sometime and really talk. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Give us some tea. Give us either tea or some
I'm gonna give y'all tea. I like the tea.
Okay. Now, Charisma, you like to fight, right?
Uncle David. No, I don't like to fight. I don't like to
She a
fight.
fighter, y'all. She be scrapping in them streets.
No,
Now
I
you be
don't.
scrapping though.
I do not be scrapping.
What be happening?
Huh?
What be happening then? Why I be getting all these fight videos? What be happening?
Can you stop doing that on YouTube?
I mean, we want the tea now. Drop it now. Drop it. What be happening?
Man, these girls, I'm telling you, they be hating. That's all. They be hating.
Hating on you, right? Now, hey, now,
Oh,
Charisma.
yeah.
Now, you know where we from. What we be doing where we from though? For real, for real.
Beefing.
We be beefing, don't we? That's real
Yep.
beef up there.
You so
This
funny.
internet ain't got nothing on the real stuff. Yeah, so I was beefing on the
Thank you.
internet.
Don't do me.
That's totally.
I know. It's my uncle.
um,
No.
you got to go though. You getting ready for your party, or you getting ready to
Yes.
go out? Okay, okay. So look, y'all. There you go. There's my little nephew.
Ooh.
Listen, cat's not running from him. No, what you doing, boy? I know you ain't sick.
He is.
Oh Lord.
Yes, it says Amir's mommy.
Yes,
Thank
yes, it does.
you.
It does. I'm chosen. That's little Amir right there. Yes, indeed. So it's a blessing to have you on my platform and
Well,
on
thanks
your
for
birthday.
having me.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm gonna keep this Cash App up as long as I can. And those that want to be a blessing to my niece, please, y'all, be a blessing.
I
I
turned
would
22.
appreciate it. She just turned 22. So she's legal beagle. You know what I'm saying? She's legal out here in these streets.
Yep.
But you don't do nothing. Don't do nothing crazy.
I'm not, I promise.
Okay.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Okay now. All right. She gone, y'all. Getting ready to go and step out for the night. That's my niece, y'all. I love her. I love her. That's one of my sister's children. She had three children, two sons and young, and she's the only girl. So that was That's what I've been doing, man, since my sister passed away, is thinking about her kids, man, taking care of them the best way I can. That's it. You know how I do it, man. It ain't nothing to it, man. You know, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. Hey, Latanya. Hey, Kim Coleman. Hey, Erica. Hey, Kim's reaction show. Big Cheese. What's good with it? I'm chosen. Robin Lots came in. Rich Talk Media came in the building. You know what it is, girl. Yes, Jackie. Jackie Rogers. Love Me came in. Uh-huh. Blessed Beyond Measures is in the building. Jazzy Red is in the building. Lisa Love is in the building. For real, for real. Erica Hayes is in the building. Miss Judy came through. Sparks came up in here. You feel me? Yes, indeed. Chatty Cathy, oh my God. One of the greatest content creators on this earth. Chatty Cathy. You know what it is. That's who brought me in the game. My beautiful queen. 2Q came in. Y'all know what it is. DTTV is up in the building. Dark and lovely up in here. Uh-huh. So we hear y'all. Now y'all gonna have to help me with this question. I'm gonna drop the link because I want to know. I want us to was the LaTrue side played? Now I know the other side at that time is no north sides, but the side we was up against, they fell played. But I'm getting people are coming in my comments. All y'all got played. I don't think so. I think we about to go into some Saga Therapy though. For real, for real. But I don't think we got played. I want to hear from some of y'all. I want to know, did we get played, man? Was this an offer? Was this all for games? Hold on. Keep hitting that cash app for me, y'all. Okay. Give me a sec. Did I drop the link yet? Hold on. Okay. It's coming. It's coming. But yeah, do your level best on the cash app for my niece. Thank y'all. Much as you can or less as you desire. Thank y'all so much. Um, I got it scrolling across the bottom. Her birthday is today. Happy birthday. Matter of fact, let me put that on my banner. Let me edit it. Okay. Let's see. Did I drop it? Um, yeah, I want to know what happened in this saga, man. What they talking about? We done got played. Did we get played? I want to know. I want to know. Yeah. So they said we got played. Happy birthday, Charisma, my beautiful niece. I love you, girl. Rich Talk Media's coming through the door. Let's see what you got going on. What's good, Rich Talk?
What's going on, DM?
Yeah, talk to me, girl. You know what it is. You know, we've been in these streets.
I know, I know. I just wanted to come up for a few minutes and give you your flowers and your champagne. I
Thank you.
said it last night in your chat, but you were speaking about other things. I don't think you really heard me.
No, I didn't see it. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
well,
What which
see
live?
the comment.
Okay, my live from yesterday was crazy because I
Yeah.
went over the Moors and everything. That was the first time I ever did something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never been on that platform. Well, I went over there to try to check her about my daughter. She wouldn't let me up. But that was that was back then. We made peace. But go ahead. What was
Yeah, I
going
just
on?
wanted to give you your champagne and your flowers. You came in swinging and protecting people where they needed protection, or just being that good spirited man that some needed. And it was, you know, what a good word to say. Your presence was just known and very well needed.
Thank
I'll
you.
just say that. And so I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to give you champagne and flowers and thank you. And I'm going to try to go up on other platforms when I see them live and do the same thing, because
Thank you, girl.
I learned a lot from this saga, and I learned a lot from a lot of content creators, like the Lupox, Comedy, Chatty. I
Yes.
very, I respect them very much so.
Yes, 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 and that's real, coming from a real place and a genuine place. And I thank you so much, girl, because I don't know how close we got in this saga at all, but I know you rock
Hmm.
with Upper Heavy, and
Hmm.
and I see your name. You wasn't in a mess, so oftentimes people get overlooked, the ones that's not messy. But from DM
Hmm.
to your ears, Rich taught me that your name really ring bells in this saga, and that meant that you was just intelligent enough to know when to speak and when not to speak. But that doesn't mean that you didn't carry a heavy presence in this whole thing. So my thing to you is I love you dearly. Thank you for
Love
your
you
support,
too.
and thank you for them flowers, girl. I love that.
Not a problem. Is
That's
that
real.
Chatty?
Chatty, I got Chatty Cathy in the building. What's
Hey,
going on,
Chatty.
girl?
Reese.
How
Hey,
you doing?
hey.
How
Talk
are
to
you?
me. They say it's an echo.
It
Yes.
is.
Why y'all just not telling me this? Hold on. Y'all got to make sure I got my audio right. Give me a second.
Testing, testing, testing.
I don't hear you, echoing, Chatty.
I
I don't
didn't
hear
hear you
myself
either
anymore. At
just
first I
now.
did, but now it's better. It's much better to him.
Okay, give me a
That's
second,
why
cause
when
I
I
don't
hear
know.
echo, I get caught up. I kind of hear it again.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm about to fix it.
Okay.
Okay, can y'all hear me better now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I
I
can
don't
hear
hear no
you
echo on
fine.
myself. What
Y'all,
about you, Charity?
y'all don't hear the echo no more?
Yeah, I don't think I hear it too
Yeah,
much
my
more. So.
laptop be acting a monkey. I don't even know what be going on sometimes. But okay, Chatty, what's going on, girl? How you feeling? How you
I'm
feeling? This is a
good.
new day.
LL Cool D, the
You,
man.
Right.
Emphasis on the man.
thank you for saying I'm looking cooler than Freddie. Thank you, girl.
Emphasis on man.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
Right.
now.
I just threw it on. I threw the little hat on. You feel me?
I ain't mad at you, brother.
Yeah.
Just move. I ain't mad, player.
Get my grown man on sometimes. You got to get your grown and sexy on sometimes.
Hey.
Hey.
So how you doing, sweetie? I mean, Chatty, you was a heavy hitter in this saga now.
Yeah, I wouldn't
And
even
then
say
you
all that.
pulled back when it was
Yeah.
best for you. but you played a role that not many people could play have played. You were very versatile, and you
Mhm.
executed very well. And during this whole trying to clear up the mess, clear up the nonsense, get the real information out there. Talk to me. How do you feel in this moment? What's going on with you?
You know what, Brother Ham? I gotta be honest. I feel good. I
Okay.
really do. I feel good. And for statements that we were played and this is all, I think those statements are ignorant. I'm just gonna be honest, because
Mhm.
I think when you got to look back, I think people are forgetting that we saw brothers and sisters divided and saying horrible things about one another. That's not made up. That was real life. That was real life pain that we saw. We saw sisters cry on a panel and yell and scream at one another due to hurt and pain. We saw a sister friends with the wife and not with the other side of the family. So not who you have to be a sick, twisted individual to fake that type of emotion. So for anyone to say like, "Oh, we were played. This was all it's erroneous. It makes no sense. So
Right.
I don't feel played because one, I didn't go all in, like some others say. I didn't pay for
Mhm.
tickets and I wasn't at Walmart or nothing of the sort. I didn't do that. I didn't
Right.
invest like that. I covered the story. I spoke with someone from the other side for months, which I shared earlier today, and got to learn some other things behind the scenes on that damn back end.
The
But
back end.
yeah, the
The
back
back end.
end. But yeah, I don't feel played at all. I genuinely how could I? Played
Now,
is
now,
normally when someone deceives you for something, or if
Mhm.
you're dating someone and they lie and say they single and they got a whole nother woman and two kids. So I personally I don't feel played in this situation at all. I really
I
don't.
mean, I feel like even if there was some mischievous things going on from the original players, the wife and the husband, you invest in yourself emotionally would been allowed yourself to be played. If you did not emotionally invest yourself, then there's no possible way you can be played. I have a motto that I always go by. I don't care enough about other people's lives that don't have an emotional attachment to be able to for them to play me. So it's just like I always say to somebody, they say, "Oh, well, somebody said this and the other." Okay, I'll start caring next year, which means I would never start caring because by the time next year comes, I won't even be thinking about the shit. Excuse my language. So it's just like it just depends on how much you invest into somebody else's situation if you gonna allow them to play you.
right. Well, I want to ask some. Hey, True Slayer, I want to ask something to Chatty Cathy real quick. Thank you, Rich
Hey,
Talk, for that because that's so real. You know what I'm saying? We've been in this thing, and y'all grown women. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time to be for childish games. So I think that all of y'all had a hand in understanding this from a mature place. So I don't think nobody came in here to be played by nobody. We stood
Mm-hmm.
on facts and what we think is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Chatty Cathy, now let me ask you something about the back end. This is not for you a question that you got to tell anything, but I saw you on had to address some things in on a Morris Live one time. Was that because somebody was coming for you, or was that some just cleaning up some misunderstandings? Um, how did how was your effect on the back end as well as it should have been on the front end? How well did you navigate that?
To answer your first question with me going on a Morris panel around that time, if you remember, some of it pertained to a child.
Okay,
As far as my question that I asked when I was up there, and the documents I asked to see. So the back end did play a part in that 2 minutes that I popped in there, and I wanted some clarity surrounding something involving a child.
okay,
Um, as far as navigating through the back end, I don't think I was successful in doing so because um it altered my lives. It altered the way that I reported on the situation. I don't regret it. But I feel like, for anybody getting in the game, naturally you're supposed to hear both sides, so to say, but the moment that you become like invested or have certain conversations, emotions get involved in that. And sharing, and Ashley revealed today some of her emotions, to kind of just being an ear and listening and taking that on and hearing things that I wasn't necessarily prepared to hear, because I came in this just simply to do stories. But once you start to hear people that are involved firsthand, it affected me and my platform. And I think I probably would have done more lives had I not been on the back end in that situation. I probably would have said more. So to me, I think it stunted me with creating more on the story. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I really don't. I can't answer that, but I know it definitely stunted me with moving forward and creating content as often as I was. It slowed down.
Okay, okay. Well, that makes that seem that's a real genuine, honest answer, and I appreciate that because a lot of times it can be misconstrued that people messy, people this, that, and the third, but there was real work going on to get some get this family to a place of closure and healing, and I think that a lot of the work that I seen you do, Lupac do, it was necessary. The interviews, what because it just wasn't going to. People needed to be able to understand the psychological battle that we were in. It was a real psychological warfare.
Yeah, and that's why I think a lot of people are missing, and the supporters. And with looking at everyone's life, there's so many creators that had so many impactful lives where people shared so much. It brought out a lot of emotions with this story. A lot of women shared their story because keep in mind, we came in on a DB situation. I remember Pac had a woman's panel with women sharing their stories. Um, Retta had a live before with talking about grief. Um, Too many powerful lives to name, but so many different creators brought so many different supporters out that added to it, and it showed just how far and how many people this story actually reached. So even take the saga out of it, just looking at
Mhm.
those stories alone, I can never feel played, because a lot of
Mhm.
people got the courage to speak up and share things that they never would have said. Looking at all of these creators' lives and in the comments
Mhm.
and things that they said in moments of uplifting, prayer that we've had before. So I could never feel played looking at what
Mhm.
exactly came out of it. Now, granted, when we calling everybody big headed bitch, it's kind of hard to see through that, but
Yeah, yeah,
there were some
yeah,
really, there were some
yeah,
there were
yes,
some really powerful moments that I
yeah.
think a lot are forgetting that came from this story, and a lot of
Right.
powerful people spoke, and some words I'll never forget, and some stories that were shared. So yeah, I'll never feel played ever.
Okay,
Which
absolutely. Let me
which
address somebody.
outshadows
Let me
anything
address
else
somebody in
to
the
her
chat real
point.
quick. Give me 1 second, Rich Talk. I want you to speak.
Mhm.
Give me 1 second. I just want to address this lady love. You're in all caps, lady love, and I understand that you probably want your comment to be heard. But this is the thing, you are entitled to your opinion. So I'm not gonna take this as a negative thing that you're doing. But what I'm trying to tell you is that although you may feel like we stoop to certain levels, we were fighting against a side that went lower than anybody would go to defend somebody's honor. So we were here stating our opinion, and we were getting bullied based on that. So a lot of our platforms took a role of getting bullied, and we're responding to the bullies. But don't ever get it. We're grown as hell. Don't ever get that twisted. Okay, we're no high schoolers. And if anything, the people in the chat was very low vibrational. Coming in with their comments. Even after the video may be done, the replay, and then next thing you know, you wake up to negative comments that don't need to be typed. If you ask me,
keep your opinion to yourself. If you think that this is too low for you, you know how many high level channels you can be on, high level vibrational channels and important channels that may be talking about health and wealth and everything else. But a lot of us was drug into this saga, including you, Lady Love, that's here now. So it is what it was. So any of that, a lot of people in the chat was high schoolers as well. Thank you. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Rich Talk.
No, I was just saying to Chatty's point, that outshadowed anything else. People coming out being vulnerable, telling their story about the pain that they endured in their personal lives outshadowed any other negativity that happened in the saga to me. Because when you can tell something that happened to you personally like that and feel 2% better with your life, somebody made a difference in your life, and that just speaks volumes.
Absolutely. Girl, you own it now. Now
Mm-hmm.
we got a
I
couple of people
agree.
that came up on the panel. I want to give everybody opportunity. Then we can just y'all can just talk freely. But let me give Truth Slayer an opportunity to talk. Go ahead, Truth Slayer.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much
Wait
for
before
allowing
you
me up
wait
here.
before you go, Truth Slayer. Let me just acknowledge
Okay.
Lupac Baby and Upper Echelon, two of the dopest content creators and intellectual content creators that's on up here. So I just want to make sure I acknowledge them. So go ahead, Truth Slayer. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with that. Um, like I said, thank you for having me up. I just wanted to say that I think it's preposterous to even assert that somebody got played. I think that if your agenda in either content creating or being a subscriber, follower, that just wanted to watch destruction go on forever, wanted to watch a family separated, wanted to witness a child taken from her father or ostracized from her father in his family. I think that is so ridiculous. And like you said, low vibrational for anyone to say, oh, we got played. What kind of outcome were you looking for and hoping for in following this? I think a lot of people projected their own personal experiences and situations into this, and they were living vicariously through this saga, which was not beneficial at all to Mosky, to other children, and even to the couple.
Mm,
I don't even understand how somebody could say we got played. Now, if you feel played, it's because again you had your own agenda in contributing to this, whether it was in comments or through content creation, because you wanted to just pursue some evil mission that you were on. So to say, well, I feel played, well, I would like to hear from those people what's the exact outcome that you were hoping for where you would not feel played.
come on.
I'd like to hear that, because then we can examine that and we can do a saga on your mental health if that's where you're really at. And also because I resonated with so many of the content creators and subscribers about just really just being after the truth. Um, to be on that other side, I know we're not talking sides now, but for the sake of the conversation, like I appreciate the live that happened with Amora and everything. Um, I was still have my arms folded for a while because I'm like, look, too much has happened, but the more you watched and the more you listened, I had a really hard time just believing anything, any type of sincerity that would come from her. I didn't feel like it was in her. Um, and so I still just wouldn't buy it. And then I'm like, well, let's err on the side of giving somebody some grace and benefit of the doubt. And if they go back after this, then now we know something. So
Right.
I saw a lot in her comments, people that were rejoicing about the piece. And then I saw the people who would comment and say, oh, more be careful, watch out. You talking too much too fast. Think about this now. And I'm thinking, well, what are you really against? And then I had to ask myself, well, True Slayer, what are you against? Why are your arms folded? Um, but all in all, I just believe that people had to really have an evil agenda personally that they projected into this to still not want peace, to the next day not wake up and have a refreshed spirit about this and to get in people's comments and start saying, you know, anything other than somebody said the kumbaya moment that happened. What did you really want to happen where you wouldn't feel played? I guess that's my ultimate question for those people who
Come
feel
on.
that way.
Come on, girl. Let me get Lupac on in on this. And upper echelon. Who came first? Lupac, you was up here first, or upper? But go ahead. Either
Yeah.
one of you. Go ahead, Lupac.
I'm gonna say this statement, and I feel like it's we done said it more than once, but it's not resonating with a lot of people because they still in their emotions and their feelings. We all voluntarily inserted ourselves into this saga. Nobody was drugged into this saga. Nobody was forced to speak up. So, you have to, even though you in your emotions, because a lot of times people allow their emotions to drive their thought process. You have to sometimes just take a breath and just start thinking about the situation as a whole. We inserted ourselves. Neither party got online and said, hey, stand up for me, stick up for me. A lot of us spoke from personal experiences where it was relative if you actually been through a DV situation or whatever. So that's what drove a lot of people to insert themselves into the saga in the first place. But I just feel like, me personally, I don't feel played because it's a lot of stuff that went on publicly and on the back end. So I don't know why they saying they feel played, or y'all got played. Like, how? Like, the only ones that can really feel played is the ones who got too personally invested, and that was a personal decision. Like, we all adults. At the end of the day, you had a choice to not get too personally invested.
That's it. Now you talking. You
So,
talking real
like,
facts.
make it make sense. How do you feel played?
You
To
talking real
peacefully
facts.
move on from this saga and not have no issues, because the outcome is the outcome. Like, what did you hope for? What were you hoping for to come out of this? To say you feel played is crazy. But like I said, the only ones that can really say they feel played is the ones who got too personally invested. But if you really look at it, like what's going on now, um what actually is the outcome for them to feel played about?
Come
Like,
on.
what y'all, they wasn't hoping for a divorce, or they wasn't hoping for them to co-parent, because that's what's actually happening. And I thought that was the
That
goal.
was the goal.
And it seemed like they wanted it
So
to be like love and hip hop and all of that, where it's season after season after season, like where it just never stops, like on TV.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, what y'all
Yeah.
wanted from this? That was never a thought in my mind, like, to say, oh, I feel played. Like, I see people saying that, but I'm like, why? Why do you gotta come on? When you say something like that, you gotta really, really break that down, because but you see, it goes back to Miss Amora's live and the stuff that she left out with her supporters. When you say certain things, especially subliminally, you gotta be able to give them a little more, because it left a lot of unanswered questions within, and it was a lot of the truth supporters in that live too. So they probably got confused as well, because they like, okay, now, all of a sudden you was number one supporter, but now it's like, I'm done with this. They lie, like, I'm not supporting lies, and people want to know what's going on.
Come
So
on,
that's where the whole everybody feel played or they played you is coming from.
girl. I gotta follow up on that, but I gotta let upper echelon go. Come on, upper,
But we know,
so I
we
can
know what we know.
so I can open up this panel so y'all can just talk freely. Come on, upper.
No, I mean, I think first of all, hi everyone on the panel.
Hello.
You look very nice tonight, Reverend Ron. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you, girl.
You're welcome.
Mm, mm.
I think Lupac asked a valid question, because that's what I was thinking. In order for you to say that you feel played, well, what was it that you were expecting? What was it that you wanted to have in order to not feel played? And to be honest with you, I think when people say they feel played, I really think that that's like the wrong word. I think that's what people are saying, but I don't think that's people's true feelings, because I think it would be some levels of embarrassment if people really said why they feel the way they do. And quite honestly, I think most people feel or are saying that they feel played because let's be honest, like over this past 18 or 19 months, for a lot of people, this has really consumed people to a certain extent to where they stop doing things that they normally do, stop watching their favorite TV shows, um stopped doing their favorite activities and hobbies, maybe even stop hanging out with friends and family because it really did get that deep. I mean, some people were going live every night for hours on hours upon hours investigating this story, and it really had become a major part of a lot of people's lives, like for real, like let's be honest. And now that it's over, I think what it really is that people are afraid to move on from it. So it's easier to say, oh, I feel played, when in actuality, it's not that you feel played, it's more so that you are fearful of what you are going to do now that this major part of your life is has now come to an end. But I think that what people really need to understand is that everything has to come to an end, regardless of the whether or not the outcome is what you expected it to be. Um, uh, I remember this quote by Buddha, where he says everything that has a beginning has an ending, and you have to make peace with that, and all will be well. So, regardless of how it ended, or whether or not you feel like it ended the right way, it's over with.
Come on.
And I just feel like I got under a little bit of fire a couple days ago because I did make a post on my community wall, and I still stand by what I said. Where maybe not everybody is monetized, maybe not everyone, but a lot of us are. And while you sit around and say that things are unfair and you deserve this and you deserve that from the saga and recognition from this and whatever the case is from the key players within the saga, let's be honest. At the end of the day, you are being compensated for your work. So
Come
I'm not understanding what it is that people want from this. I don't
Well,
feel played at all.
it's like a dig. It's like they're trying to find reasons to laugh in your face to make it seem as if somebody had a better handle on uh thinking like an adult or something. I don't know. A better way to explain why they had to move on and whatever it was. I don't know. But I'm just saying that I want to piggyback on something Lupac said. Um when 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 this thing went down with the apology over there, um, she was like, "We all been played, y'all." Now, in that moment, I felt like she should have just addressed it her side, you know, because you can't speak for both sides. You've been standing on one side of the aisle the whole time, so you can only speak from that side of the aisle. You cannot speak like, "Let's throw this all in the toilet now." It was good to know that she felt that way to stop the behavior in the change up into the person we knew she can be when she first entered this thing. I knew that she could be the person she is today and say, "Hey, let's stop this. Let's come together. Let's do that." That's what we've been wanting to see. But to say that we got played because we had to fight against that opposition, I think that's wrong to say.
Especially when you got to keep in mind, Dham, a lot of the things that we are seeing occurring, a lot of the people that supported Latrice have said these same exact things, and we were ridiculed as a result of it. We predicted this moment. We predicted this separation. We predicted this divide quite some time ago. So it's nothing new to us. So I feel like a lot of the people that supported Latrice might not share that sentiment
We got an
unless you
echo.
had an
Hold on, we got an echo. I don't know who need to mute.
I don't hear
Go,
it now.
Is,
go,
is it your other session, Dham?
huh?
Is it the other session you have live or?
No, 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 no. I heard her clearly before she started
Oh,
talking. So somebody's technical thing going on here. Go ahead, Chad. Let me hear you again.
Is it better now? Is it
Yeah, it's
better now?
way better. Go ahead.
Yeah. So feel like, if you had a personal investment, that's a different story. And it's almost like a quarantine where for so long we were told that the world wasn't safe, and then saying, okay, it is again. So you have that level of resistance going out where you don't feel safe. And I feel like for any party that feels played, it's kind of just stepping into the unfamiliar because you've dedicated so much of your personal time to this. You're now facing, what am I going to do now? But for those that did not, it's easy for us to feel this moment because, one, we all predicted a lot of this. Most of the content creators, most of the subs all knew that this would come, and we did not have necessarily an extreme personal investment. So I think that's the I think the we should be changed to an I, because a lot of time we try to group our feelings and make other people feel how we're feeling. And if it's how you're feeling, you need to change that we to an I, because we might not share that same sentiment.
Come on. Now let me ask y'all this. All of y'all are here. I think y'all addressed that very perfectly. For the chat and for the people that
Ho-
think
Hold
and
on,
feel
bro.
like that. Go ahead.
Thank you, boo. Hold on, I want to say something. To piggyback before you
Okay.
you change the topic. Okay, this is another thing. This was a saga of somebody's telling the truth and somebody's lying, right?
Come on.
So it was a battle amongst the truth versus a lie. But it was our side where we thought, what we was defending was the truth, and they thought what they was defending was the truth. So when it all boils down to it, whoever was actually on the truth side was ahead because guess what? Everything that we put out, it's like they were behind because they wasn't following us. They was following what they believed to be true. So it's like everything that's happening now, we were already aware of because we knew it. Like we literally broke all of this down.
Right,
But you
right, right.
see, Miss Amora is not telling them everything, right? She's not. Who's going to get up there and say, "Oh, I defended somebody that actually was lying to me the whole time"? Who's going to get up there and say that, especially with the things that have been done in this saga?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
But
that
see,
makes all the difference.
my thing is not only did she not say that, but she Amora kind of went out of her way to reiterate that she knows for a fact, and that's what she said. I don't know if you all heard her, but she said that she knows for a fact that there was physical domestic violence in the relationship. She didn't really say how she knew, but she made sure that she threw that in there on that initial live where she was trying to say we shouldn't be beefing anymore and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
But listen, Upper, and I heard that too. But this is my thing, y'all. If you knew for a fact that that happened, why is it that when the situation came about with Janelle, that picture had to be altered? The date had to be altered on that picture to put on to Mr. Latrue. So if you got substantial proof that physical abuse actually happened, then why did that situation take place the way that it did?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She
Let
wouldn't have had to do that, right?
But I
yeah.
guess my question is now, I don't believe her, but my question is, even though this is coming to an end and she's saying that she's no longer defending Brianna anymore, I don't know. I guess my question was just like, what is the purpose of even saying that? You know what I mean? So I
Yes.
don't know.
Hey, let me clear up something, y'all, because
To save face.
I don't know if this was a troll
Yes.
that I addressed or not. I don't know. But there we have a lady love that we know very well in our that comes on in everybody chat. And that lady love is not the lady love I address. This is the lady love right here. I pinned the comment that I address, y'all. So that was not our lady love. This is some other lady love that that's been typing in all caps that I took time to address her comment. Now I'm not saying she's a troll. I'm just saying she's not the lady love that I was addressing that we know that comes in everybody's chat. This is somebody I never seen before. Okay, so I just wanted to get that
Mm-hmm.
out there. Okay, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just
But I
saying,
want to go ahead, Upper. I'm sorry.
No, I was just, I don't know. I think that at this point, I really don't even think that the DV thing is even an issue because whether they want to whether they want to give us that credit or recognition for breaking it down and debunking all of the lies that Brianna put out. At the end of the day, facts are facts. We saw it happen. We know that no DV took place. Um, so I guess that's just something that will never really be admitted. I think and to be honest with you, I really believe that a lot of the people on that side don't believe that she was abused.
Right.
I'm not sure why it's an issue with them just at this point just coming out and saying it, or you know it's
It
been
was just like,
debunked.
just leave her alone, leave her alone. Like, no matter what she did, just leave her alone. And we were
Right.
fighting for the right thing, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. Now, another thing she said was, well, let me say it like this. I didn't feel like they were going to stop at all. It was going to take something really drastic for a severed tie to be done, and I guess that happened. And I'm not laughing because it happened. This is something I really desire to see, so that they can stop. And if whatever happened after that, I'm in total agreement with peace. But it wasn't until her feelings was really hurt in order for her to come to this conclusion that I've been
Hmm.
fighting a losing battle this whole time. And so when her feelings got hurt, you can tell, and then she realized that I have to stop this, right?
And
Okay.
not
So
just that, y'all. I'm gonna say this. This is another thing. I seen Miss Moore had made a post on her Facebook, and she said, I will not be defending lies or something like that. So, this was a battle where, if you look at the initial, we were all fighting for a false DV claim, physical
mhm,
abuse, right? So, my thing is, if I'm looking at, like, is it a matter of, oh, my feelings is hurt, that's why I'm no longer supporting, or did she really lie? And deep down, you just not telling your supporters, because I'm not understanding, where's the lie? What
right,
the only lie that I could see, the way they was going so hard for her, the only lie that I could see is the fact that she lied about DV. That's the only thing I could think of. Cause why else, it can't be you just going against her now because your feelings hurt, or she told you something you didn't like on the phone.
right, right.
And with
What's
this
the lie?
situation with her and her division, I try to remove emotion from a situation and look at it from a different lens. So when we any situation that ends, for the most part, it ends because it wasn't what it appeared to be. When we quit a job, we leave it because it wasn't what it appeared to be. If we leave a cheating mate, we leave because they weren't who they presented themselves to be. When we
Come
end
on.
friendships, something took place in which they weren't who they presented themselves to be. So I think we have to look at it with that same lens. Whatever took place was something that was presented to her was not what it appeared to be. And she knows what
Mm.
that is and whether she speaks of it or not. But that's normally why most things end. Something wasn't what it presented itself to be.
but but you know what, the way I look at it is, I don't know if you all have ever seen someone in a situation or even been in a situation personally where it could be a friendship or even a relationship where everyone else around you knows this is not a good situation. This person does not have good intentions for you. This person is using you. This person does not want you. This person does not value you. And everyone around you sees it. And you don't. And it's not because it's not being presented to you. It's not because the person is trying so desperately to hide it. It's because you don't want to see it. The throughout this whole saga, everyone on the truth side saw that Amora, unfortunately, was being used for what she was doing. And it's impossible that if we saw it from the outside, that she didn't see it and feel it from the inside. And sometimes we are so enamored with a person that we choose not to see it. I mean, we even heard an audio where she even expressed that she felt like she was being used. So she saw these things. And I really feel like Amora really just got to the point where she was sick of it. She was just
Come
sick
on.
of it.
Come on.
Because it's not like it hadn't been said a million times. It had been said a million times throughout this saga. That girl is using you. She even said herself, she 1 minute I'm blocked, the next minute I'm not. When she need me to post something, she send it to me. Then she say she don't need me. So it's not like this hasn't been an ongoing issue. And then even if it hadn't happened to her, I mean, she's seen it happen around her. We've even had panels and spoke on how Brianna's relationships with other people, it's like people are disposable to her. None of her friends that she originally came into the saga with, she doesn't even speak to anymore, or they don't speak to her anymore, because after you do something for her, or after she's done using you, you're disposable. So my thing is, if you people around you are telling you that they see this, you're even saying out of your own mouth that you see this. And then not only that, but you see how she treats other people in her life like they're disposable. It's not like you didn't see it. As a matter of fact, Brianna, and I know that we're not bashing her anymore, and I'm not trying to, I'm just being honest. Brianna is she's very transparent with her BS. It's like she doesn't even care who knows.
Right. Right.
So we
Come
all
on.
saw, and like Lupac just said, we predicted that this was going to happen.
We did. We did now. We did. You can't deny that.
And
So what?
perhaps the more was on the holdout for the trophy. You know what I mean? I think she was on the holdout for, like, she knew that she was being used, but then it was like, okay, at this point I'm getting paid. So I'm just recently Bree came on her panel and was basically telling her to stop. And she flat out said, no, I'm not gonna stop. And she said, okay, well, I'm gonna have to, pull back from you then. So even then it was stated, and she flat out told her she wasn't gonna stop. So the money obviously was, to me, the driving factor in that at that time. And then but it was still like, okay, well, I'm still on the holdout for, like I said, the trophy. And I mean, people have been.
We just lost her. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can
We
hear
just
you.
lost True Slade. She was speaking nothing but facts.
She
Uh,
was. And I want to add to
True
that
Slade, come on
because
up. I'm gonna drop the link for True Slade, man. She killing it.
not
This,
only
oh,
that,
this you
I
go.
just okay, I'll let her finish.
Know what happened.
True Slade, you dropped down on us. Come on, girl. You was on the road.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it wasn't. Thank you. I'm not sure why it was important for her to have Brianna's grace or whatever, because she'd already said that she wasn't going to stop. I think that maybe possibly because it was blatantly said to her. I'm not sure, like, why this time it meant so much for her to, to say, okay, well, yeah, she flat out told me, well, she's flat out told you before. And so again, I think the money was the thing. And so now when y'all mentioned, was it Upper, which one of y'all said that she was like talking about in her, I think it was the live from last night where she was saying, she still slipped it in there, like, I know for a fact, or whenever she said it, I know for a fact that she was physically abused. As Lupac said, to save face. But then why are you saving face if you come into a place of peace? You've been blatantly rejected at this point. So we do know that the money is the driving factor. However, there was something about being in Brianna's good graces that fed a lot of people over there, and I'm not sure why. I think that Bree is accustomed to not having friends. So therefore, if you are down for her and doing all of these things for her, it's just a moment in time. There's nothing relational about it or anything like that. It's like, because she said it a million times, I don't care if I don't have no friends. I don't care. I don't care. And I think that's probably always or a long time been her viewpoint. So when you don't value relationships, you will move the way that Bree moves.
Yeah, it was something to see. She sometimes. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead, ladies.
I
Brianna, I want y'all to remember this. Brianna, and then I'm gonna let somebody else go. She is a energy vampire. She is one of those people that uses you until she doesn't need you anymore, whether it be for financial reasons, emotional reasons. I'm gonna let y'all go, but do y'all remember when Ashley Gatlin first came on the scene? Ashley G made a statement that really stuck out to me. She said that she would have to be on the phone with Brianna from between 18 to 20 hours out of a 24-hour day. Now you tell me that that's not somebody that is emotionally they need something. Something is wrong, especially for some. I don't for you to have children. How do you have the time to be on the phone over half of the day? So there's something wrong there where she has to drain others in order to put something into herself where she needs people. She does need friends. She does need people, but she doesn't value them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Totally
the
agree.
sad part. Yeah, that's the sad upward. I mean, girl, I don't know if I ever heard of energy vampire yet. I mean, that man, am I out the loop on the intellectual
No,
things
I,
you
I
say?
no, I stole that from somebody. I forgot who channel I got that on.
No, that's a real statement. People say that because they drain you so much, so they are literally like vampires. It's like
Oh
in
my
the
god.
mental health arena, like that is a real term.
That's just like Kevin Wesley with his emotional terrorizer. It's
Yeah.
along those lines. Yes.
Oh wow. Oh
With
wow.
Amora though, I don't know her and I can't put words in her mouth, but I have to be honest, I don't think Amora is that naive. I really don't. So I feel like there was something else that possibly kept her going because I simply I don't believe that a seasoned woman, a woman that has traveled, was that naive to um what was being done and what the difference between truth and lie, especially when she admitted that they would speak possibly 3 times out of a month. To me that's not necessarily frequent, but she did say, there
Yes.
were texts. But so it wasn't a lot of on the phone in-depth conversation. So I don't think Amora was that naive. So I think there was another driving force that kept this thing going, so to say, of why she continued. And it could possibly be for this moment here. How do I come and face the world and say, I've been a fool? So you got to save face or fake it till you make it sort of thing. But I really, I don't think that she's a naive woman and I don't think that she's an unintelligent woman. So it's very hard for me to believe that all this time she believed her to be truthful, a truthful woman. I
Totally,
personally don't
totally
believe that.
agree.
And think about it, y'all. Y'all really think like literally that live happened, but it still wasn't no reason given why she was no longer supporting outside of she was not going to support lies and that phone call that took place. So it had to have been something major, which was the lie. It was a lie. Other than that, I don't see it. Like I don't see somebody that went that hard that would just abruptly stop
Hmm.
supporting somebody for no reason or for a disagreement over the phone. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Well, at
not
this
giving
Yeah.
that,
point,
baby.
I wonder if Bree was ready to. I mean, okay, she said she was done. She told Amora off, whatever happened. And if Amora has a bunch of dirt on her and vice versa, and by Bree blatantly saying, look, whatever she said to her, Bree like, look, I done already got one charge. I don't care what happens. At this point, I'm done. So then at that point, if she's not scared, because I think I've heard Maura say before that she said, yeah, she's scared of me, and she should be, right? So if she's not scared no more, that means you are in jeopardy. You are at risk. That means that she will throw herself on the railroad tracks, and you gonna end up on there too. So if
She
when
did. She
somebody,
did. She did say that.
so she's not afraid, then that
And look,
means no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and that's definitely a given that there's dirt within both parties because one portion is the situation with himself. If you look at that situation, okay, if you defending what's right, because remember, even though we each had our own side, both sides felt like they were defending the truth and what was right. But if you really look at it, based off of what Ashley Gatlin said, Miss Amar was well aware of the situation that took place with Brianna and himself. So that's not defending DV.
Mm-mm.
That's one of the things that that can really make your supporters look at you like, hey, what's going on now?
Right. Right.
All that bush watching those people did and still didn't get a clue. I mean, I can't accept that. If you're not on Facebook, or if you're on Facebook and not on YouTube, you will be completely misinformed, right? But you're on YouTube following this. And so we had some who came up on the panel recently. It's been so much happened the last couple of days. And she said, I admit, I apologize. I think it was on another content creators panel. She said, I admit I've been bush watching. I'm out the bushes now. She came up on the panel and said she apologized because, a lot of stuff she didn't know and so on and so forth. Well, I mean, that's why you have to do research and be informed because she said, I've said and done a lot of nasty things, and she was really remorseful about it. But again, if y'all carrying bones back, then you're watching what all of these amazing content creators over here have taken the time out of their life to put together the receipts. You could just play y'all receipts and don't even say nothing. And so it's like, how are you mad about somebody saying something about what's already, been put out there by your favorite person? So y'all could not have bush watched, and then come to the conclusion that this girl was not lying or anything and did not ever produce any receipts, about the physical abuse. So that's why I was always like, I was so disrespectful to them over there, because something's got to be wrong with you to witness all of this and still be on this crusade about she's not lying and she was abused.
Let me say something to that, Truth Slayer, and I want y'all. This is to the whole panel. I want to know this because y'all are women, and oftentimes we don't want to not understand what goes on behind closed doors. Like, what we don't know is like what we don't know. And I think a lot of the people that wanted to believe her used that as a crutch to say we don't know what went on in that woman's house. Now, that is so I mean, speculative, to where you don't know. Really, we don't know. But based on this particular situation, I almost, we do know that we can almost identify with abuse. So I'm trying to figure out, are we going to always fall for the okie doke with the crutch that we can't tell somebody what they went through because we weren't there? Or, I mean, how do we get around that?
That statement throughout this saga was always hilarious to me. As far as, every time somebody would say, well, we don't know what went on in the house, I would always think, well, actually we do, because she tells all of her business. As a matter of fact, we wouldn't even know about any of this had she not gone live in the beginning. So when you say we don't know what's going on in the house, we know a lot of what's going on in that house. We know,
Yes.
so so many things have been presented to social media. And that was another thing, we got a lot of flack for covering this story. And I also don't like when people say, we should have just kept our noses out of these people's marriage. And I just can't stand when people say that, because it's like, what are you talking about? This was presented to social media. These are two social media influencers. This is a story that we're covering. And, you can't say it's not like we planted a wiretap their cell phones and put cameras in their house, and they brought this stuff to the internet. So
Absolutely.
they went as far as to presenting court documents. We even knew who their attorneys were. So for you to sit there and say that we don't know what happened in the house, well, we know a lot. We know quite a bit, to where we can form an opinion on, whose story is more consistent. And it seems like, shoot, a lot of these content creators really should have been attorneys and private detectives. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
I sat back and watched some of these content creators really break stuff down and figure things out just based off of what was presented to us. And when we use the word vindication for Robert, that is 120% correct. He absolutely was vindicated. If these content creators had not put their noses in, quote unquote, noses in their business, then it's quite it's quite possible that this man's reputation would have probably been forever tarnished. I just don't see
Yes.
how he would have come out of it without all, they say it was 59 of us, without all 59, content creators really breaking this stuff down and really delving into what was presented. So that really the whole we don't know what went on in that house. That's just a cop out. We know enough of what went on in the house.
And
Um,
furthermore, when you
And if
have a
we pay attention
self-professed,
enough,
oh, go ahead. I've been talking. Go
and
ahead.
when you, hey chat, if you pay attention enough, when they, so to say, it's still crazy with sides or whatever, but at that point we were divided. When they first started, it was he did it. He did it, he did it, he did it on this date, and here's the proof, and he did it. But if you notice, their tune then changed to the, well, we don't know what took place in their house. So a shift certainly occurred because it went to 100% he did it. And now we're hearing responses such as, how dare you try to tell a woman what went on in her home? So why was that
Mhm.
narrative switched? We'll never know. But it went from he's 100% guilty, he did it. Here's the proof. Look at this. And here's this police report. And then we noticed that that kind of trickled away. And now we're being crucified for being women who's trying to tell another woman what's going on in their home. Why the shift?
Absolutely.
So
And if a
something
self
occurred.
and a self-professed receipt queen who's been checking her husband's phone every day for 6 years, sneakily taking vulnerable pictures of him, okay, and recording phone or conversations with him. For example, the one about him speaking about his sister. For you to have all that and not, you never took a picture of a bruise, you never took a picture of, recorded yourself going into the ER or something with a bruise on your head. I mean, you don't have any of that, but you yourself say you're the receipt queen. You know what I mean? So like, okay, well, so because you're saying that, we can call foul on the assertion that, well, just because she don't have proof don't mean it didn't happen to her. Well, she says she the receipt queen. So where
yeah,
is the proof? And you've been doing this the whole 6 years. There should absolutely be at least one receipt.
yes, and I think wow, I don't want to. Y'all doing such a wonderful job. I'm not gonna say nothing. Go ahead, y'all. Let me drop this link. Lisa Smith, I think said one, and she want to come up. But go
I
ahead.
had
Yeah,
I
my
had a
thing,
question.
like, I'll go ahead.
No, because I don't want to change the topic. I was gonna add something else.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
mine was just really like
Oh,
just a statement. I really, like I said, I think there's things that we will never know. And I don't believe that Amora, I don't, she's far from unintelligent. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she knew some things that she probably will never speak on, but I feel like something certainly occurred, because I remember there was not too long ago, even before the the parenting situation came into play and the piece started. Mora said that she was done. Cancel your memberships. I'm done. You can go. And this was before everything. So to me, when something like that occurs, it's for a reason. So I don't think we'll ever truly know what she was dealing with on the back end, or what conversations we're having. But um I don't think that she's a naive woman, and I certainly don't think that she's unintelligent. And I just feel like it's things that we'll probably never ever know.
come on.
Absolutely.
Upper, you had something you wanted to say though. Go ahead. I don't get. I don't know when I'm gonna get you back up here on conversations like this. Go ahead.
No, I just first question I wanted to ask is for the people that do feel like they were manipulated and played in this situation. For those that are monetized, I want to know if they return their checks from YouTube every month back to YouTube. I want to ask that because they're saying they haven't, and they're not being compensated. So that's the first question. That's a joke though. But the second real question is I want to know, like, as far as the content creators, would um would you, if another story was to be presented, like maybe not even the same topic, but another story to this depth, would you cover it? And if you did cover it, would you do some things different? Because I've heard so many people say that they would never get involved, they would never cover a story like this again, especially involving a married couple. So that's
I,
kind of what I
I
wanted to
know.
know.
I know. For me, I didn't cover this story. I was assigned to it. I came in under an assignment, and that was to get them to stop. Um, that was my whole assignment. It wasn't so much to um, bring out all the receipts and the truth and the evidence. It was more so the spirit that was behind this saga for me.
Hmm.
But that's a
And
very great question for everybody on the panel that did cover it. Go ahead, y'all answer it.
no, before I just want to say this too, because I just seen a comment that I really want to address this in your
Which one is it,
comments.
Upper? I can pin it.
Tamik says, "So we're not moving on?" Question mark.
Oh
What I
yeah,
want to
moving
say
on.
is the premise of us moving on is that the content creators are not going to be bashing each other. We're not going to be bashing each other. We're not, and a lot of content creators, I can't speak for everybody, but some of them didn't bash anyone. But the point is that we are moving on from we're allowing people to do what they want to do on their platforms. We
Yeah,
are not beefing between each other. We're not calling each other out of our names. We're not disrespecting each other. We're allowing each other to have our own perspectives on our own platforms respectfully. But it doesn't not change. And I want people to understand this. Just because we have come to a truce and we have decided that we are going to respect each other as Black people does not change our stance on the saga. That doesn't change. We still feel how we feel about the saga. And we should be able to get along as content creators with and have a difference of opinion. That's
yes.
growth. We don't have to agree on this. And as long as that saga lasted, which was like 18 or 19 months, obviously there's going to be um discussions about what went down. That's only natural. It doesn't mean that
Well,
we're harping on anything.
yeah, and this is more my exit discussions. I think we're owed an opportunity to look
Hmm.
back at it and see what happened in the sense of where it just ended abruptly. Basically, and someone said we all been played, and that was her truth. I'm not going to take that away from her. But there's other people's trolling with that. They're trolling with that idea of we all been played. So this is the and Tommy, you know I know you because you really trolled me over this saga. So I ain't got no bad blood. But at the end of the day, you're here and you're welcome now. The saga's over with. We've have moved on, but we can still have an afterthought. We can still um give our 2 cents on where we stood and did we get played by spending all these countless hours uh studying this thing, studying the spirit that was in operation. It's not to say that we can't have peace. It's just to say that we understood our purpose and our mission. And one side had to lose. It just was it was. Something had to give. And some days we felt like we was defeated over here,
I mean,
but
And we
ultimately we
stand up
came out
for
on
that question.
top.
Yeah, and
That's
to
all.
answer the question, as a creator, would I cover this story again? That question came in at a great time as the same question. I believe you said Tamik posed the question, so we're not moving on. I think that's a wonderful question, and it came at the great time because my answer coincides because if I were to cover a story like this again, I think it would be done this way. And this way is that we can all be able to have conversations without the noise, without the
Right.
distraction, without the insult. I think we would have all done one another's platforms a major, major service, had we been able to approach the situation with people from opposing sides having healthy conversations. So, to answer the question, if I personally were to ever cover a story like this, I would want to have some sort of communication with someone that has an opposing view from me so that the two of us together can have these healthy conversations, and to see who, may the best person win, or maybe we can both make one another see each other's side without malice or hard feelings. So that question came at the perfect time. So that would be my answer.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? How's everybody doing
We
tonight?
doing good, Lisa.
hey,
Hello.
hey, Miss
And
Lisa.
wait 1 second to the water yourself. I don't know if you're addressing someone in particular. when it says just a little advice to avoid drama, it would be great to ask if you have a misunderstanding instead of assuming. I don't think there was any assumptions here made by all parties, so I don't know if it's
No, no, no,
directed
no,
to
no,
the.
no. Hold on. Let me address that. I didn't even read it before I pinned it. That's towards
Okay.
me. She's coming. She must be for Sweet Ma. Now we've already addressed it, Sweet Ma. I went and
No,
apologized.
she was a water
Amora.
yourself is a more she was a more supporter.
Okay, more support. Okay, okay. I don't. Okay, maybe it came in love. I'm not on 10 on Sweet Ma. I'm just making sure because that was somebody kept saying you're assuming, and I thought I addressed that already. But your comment is very more welcome over here. There's no. I'm not dismissing anybody's comment in their own opinion. So I'm sorry, Water yourself, if I got that wrong. Go ahead. Go ahead. Chad, you was addressing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know if anyone here assumed anything. I don't think so. Thus far, what part you might have came in on water yourself, but this is just basically a conversation, and not necessarily assumptions, and just kind of just like talking about everything in its entirety, in a healthy way that's conducive to, the growth or the rebirth of the story or the conclusion of the story. I don't personally think that it's been laced with assumptions thus far.
Absolutely. There's too much that has been said for there. I mean, there's to me, there's not room for a lot of assumption, right? Like to me, everything has been pretty clear and blatant. And anytime somebody can go live for 7, 8 hours, like on a daily basis about something, I don't think there's much room left for assumption. I think you can draw a very reasonable conclusion as a result of that.
Yes.
Um, how y'all doing?
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Miss Lisa.
Hi, boobs. What I want to
Hey,
say
Miss.
most of all in all the saga, I learned a lot. I learned that I was able to tell my DV real story. And I just feel like um she ain't sort of gotten away. She got away with something, but guess what? Her karma will come to her. You know what I mean? In spite that you made peace, but just remember what you came to this platform about, right? Allegedly. So another thing is with everybody in the panel, we have uncles, brothers, cousins, we have male children. And I thank y'all, all of y'all, for standing behind Robert because Robert is in all of us. And if people still want to stay where they are, because some of them are very negative, I've seen it, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? He's a divorced man. He's hopefully co parenting the right way. Hopefully, he would get the right therapy so he would never, ever have to ever come to the internet for anything. And that goes for him and that goes for Brianna. It's a life lesson.
Yes.
And what
Hmm.
I what I want to say most of all is that every day that we turn on YouTube, every day we turn on TikTok, every day is Facebook, every day something is happening when it comes to domestic violence. So people need to stop thinking, oh, put your head in the sand and it's never gonna happen. It is continually happening. And that's why it's so many brothers incarcerated for things like that. And these women need to take some time and think about the young men in your life and how you feel. And I feel from the saga, please, if you ain't do anything all right, address your traumas, get some healing, and moving on. And if there is another story like this, y'all know what to do, how to handle that. But we still, God gave y'all a gift to come in here and dissect, and y'all did that. And I'm so grateful that I got to meet y'all on the end on this saga. You know, y'all the real deal. So, like I said, take them flowers. It's coming
Uh,
from me and everybody else. And I love you guys. So y'all continue on doing what you need to do because we got more work to do. More work that needs to be done. And more
yes.
saving needs to be done.
I think.
I appreciate what
Thank you,
Miss Lisa.
Auntie.
Yeah, I appreciate what Miss Lisa said. For sure. And you want to know what? um, and what's crazy is I was just getting ready to mention her name, and I see her in the chat, Felicia.
Yes, yeah, I
You
dropped
want to
that before.
you want to know you want to know what is, and I don't even think I realized this about myself. But what's so crazy is I felt like there was a lot of people, and I'm not trying to, I'm not going to mention certain names, but there was a lot of people on Latrue's side initially calling for peace and saying that they wanted peace and holding panels, but I think that it did not resonate with me, and I did not see it as being sincere because I needed to hear that from both sides, and so when a lot of people were saying, and I'm just going to say it because somebody in the chat said it. Well, Jaffe had been trying to say this for both sides. Well, for me, I felt like it really resonated with me when Felicia went live and she called for peace, because then I felt like it's not just this side being held to the
Yeah,
stake and being held
yeah.
accountable. I have been saying over and over again, in order
It's a
for
mute.
somebody to be, in order
It's a
to
mute.
Somebody got a mute.
in, in
Uh,
order for
Alicia, you got a mute. I'm sorry, Upper. Go ahead. Felicia, you got a
in,
mute.
in, in order for peace to be gained, because that's the only word I can think of. In order for peace to be gained, it can't just be one side being held accountable. And I felt like on all the other panels that were held for this thing to come to an end and to stop, it was always, oh, the truth supporters are bullying this person, or the truth supporters need to stop doing this. And for me, that kind of felt like an attack. Like, no, I'm only covering what's being presented. Now, I can agree to peace, but it can't just be holding us accountable. Everybody has to be held accountable, which is why for the first time when I saw Felicia go live and she was saying, I'm holding myself accountable for this. This was done
Facts.
wrong. This was done wrong on this side. And not only that, but you all need to be held accountable. And she held both sides accountable. That's when I felt like it was genuine. I didn't feel like
Yes,
any
that's
other
when I felt like it too.
I didn't feel like any other creator was being genuine. I felt like people had their own agendas. They had their own issues with said party. And so they were bashing is what they were doing. That was not a call for peace. That was a call for one side to quit and the other side to continue. But after Felicia went live and then after Amora went live, I felt more so like, okay, this is what I needed to hear in order for this to stop.
Come
Right.
on.
I don't know about nobody else, but that's how
And
I felt.
and
Absolutely.
with
We got
that, with what I'm saying with that, Upper,
uh-huh.
you are absolutely correct. But all I want to say, most of all, you have to heal, because when you don't heal, you become that same person. As anger there, and then it doesn't move, and what it moves to the next person, and it just becomes like a bug, like a virus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to really check that, and before I give any type of advice, you got to check your mental first moving forward, and that's it. that
Okay.
that's it.
We got Miss Felicia on our panel. Welcome, Miss Felicia. You can unmute. You just had some background noise. We was trying to make sure it
Okay, can
didn't
you hear
mess
me now?
up. Yeah, we can
Hello.
hear you now.
Okay, hello to everybody on the panel.
Hello.
Hello.
Let me
Hello.
start there. So I have I spoke my piece yesterday. I stand by what I said. I'm following through on what I said and everything. But I want to just take it off course for a moment, and I want to ask a real live question, and I don't want it to be pointed towards her situation, her or Robert's situation, or none of that. This is just like a question. I just want y'all to answer for me. What does a person that's been through DV look like?
It don't look like nothing. We can't you cannot put a picture on it.
And okay, I want to know what does it look like, and then I want to know why you give me that answer, and then we can go from there because this is
I know where you're
I
going,
believe,
Felicia. I know
yeah,
where you're going because I heard your
yes,
testimony. Let me say
yes,
this. Let me say
yes,
this to you,
yes,
Felicia. Whoever doubted your story, they were wrong.
Okay.
They're
But that's not.
100%
But
wrong.
is that fair, DM? Is that a fair thing to say though? If we are all women, right? Because
Right,
we know what we do. We know what we're capable of. We know how we protect sometimes our abuser because that's why we stay
right,
so long.
right.
Yeah.
What does it look like seriously in order for you? Because you said you
We
don't
can
doubt my story. So
we
what
ain't
makes
gonna
you
doubt nobody's real abuse. We're not
when
gonna
you
doubt a
no
woman.
when you
Yeah.
say real abuse, that's those words right there are triggers. DM. Let me just and I'm being
Okay,
honest
go ahead. Go ahead.
as a survivor because I'm not a victim. As a
Okay.
survivor, those things are real abuse. What is again? Okay, so what does real abuse look like? Then let me rephrase my whole question. What does real abuse look like?
I can answer that. I want to answer that question.
Okay,
So
I want to get everybody's opinion too.
Go ahead.
Uh,
Go ahead, Upper.
no, so I feel like that's a valid question because whether it be domestic violence or any type of abuse,
Mm-hmm.
child abuse or whatever, it's so important for the victim, and it is triggering for
Yes.
a victim. I think that's the reason why a lot of people were so emotionally involved with this story because we do have a lot of DV survivors within this story.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
is triggering for a survivor to hear you question another person who is saying that they are a survivor because they've personally been through it, and it's triggering. Just like somebody who's probably been abused as a child in whatever type of a way, it's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
triggering for you to question that child or any person that says that something has happened to them. But
Right.
so I can understand 120% as to why Brianna supporters felt like, why are you questioning her? This young lady is saying that these things happen to her, so you should just believe that these things happen to her. And I just want to say, from my everybody is different, but
Yeah.
speaking for myself, initially when I first started covering this saga, I mean, before I started covering it, when I started following it, I was an avid Brianna supporter. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the comments deep supporting, fighting for Brianna for people who, and a lot of people don't know that, but I was on
Mm-hmm.
her side. The
Mm-hmm.
moment I stopped supporting Brianna was was when there became so many inconsistencies within her story that I could not help but to recognize them. So it
Okay.
wasn't that she came out and said, "Hey, this happened to me," and I said, "Yeah, right." It was just more so 1 minute you're saying this, the next minute you're saying that, then this video is coming out, then this evidence is coming out. And it's almost like, even if you do support someone, you have to at least acknowledge the fact that there are inconsistencies.
Yep, and you're absolutely correct because you know what most of us survivors do? We have inconsistencies. We changes our story. We do those things. These are all things that women that has been through domestic violence share. We all share those things. I protected my husband for 10 years. For 10 years, even though he busted my head wide open with a four-way. I protected him for 10 years. I watched my mother go through it, right? So it's a lot of things we do, and this is why women don't speak out. This is why women don't want to share their stories. Okay, say I said this day and this that day. I don't want to talk her business because that's what I'm not going to do, and I've always
Right.
said that I don't talk family business. But to say that it looked that a person you can just look at or go by this or because of an inconsistency, that's I just think that that's not fair because all women that's been through domestic violence, I don't know if any of you up there been up there, but I'm sure you got some loved ones that has lied and stayed and covered and lied and stayed and covered. Is that not a true statement or am I reaching?
No.
Felicia,
no, and I want to be able to
can
answer
I
that
ask you a quick
question.
question?
Thank you, y'all. Go ahead.
Um, I'm sorry, Rich. Were you answering?
No, go ahead, Chatty, go ahead. I'll ask after you.
Okay, to answer Miss Felicia's question, one, abuse has no face. I just don't believe
Thank
that. I
you.
never thought that abuse has no face. But with me, abuse doesn't have a face, and inconsistencies will certainly arise. But there's certain actions that any abuser or one that's been abused will display when you detail the abuse. So, for example, if you're stating that I am fearful of a party, my children are fearful of a party, I think actions is something that's very, very hard to cover up. I can tell you that I'm a 5'3" white woman named Karen, but you're going to see otherwise. And I think with this particular situation, it wasn't necessarily so the inconsistencies. I can look past that because I know women protect their abusers. But if you
Mhm.
say certain things, you are going to act. And women who have been abused and have stated that they are fearful of a party, that's going to come out in their actions. That's things that you can't hide. You'll look back at women that were abused when they were lying, but you can see it in their face and their body language that they're uncomfortable in this party's presence. So to me, it was more so the actions did not match the words, because when you are fearful of someone, and children who can't lie to save their life because they're going to show it and tell it all, the actions did not match the words, in my opinion.
That's and you're
Can
absolutely
can I can I
good to
can
have
I
that.
speak, y'all? Can I
Go
say
ahead.
something, Felicia? Because I want to make sure you understand. When you told your story, matter of fact, me you being in the saga, I knew that you've been through some things. I can actually tell. That's why it was so easy for me to receive you. And because of the two sides, I knew we couldn't really connect. But I'm very deep in spiritual. I can see things from afar. Now, I knew your story will eventually come out because what you lived and what you've been through. And you know why I can tell it, because you said this. You've been standing on this question throughout the saga. Can you tell what's going on in somebody's house? That lets me know you really believed it and you lived that. So
Yeah.
I will never take that away from you. So you didn't come into this panel with me discouraging or disparaging anyone's story, because I believe that the victim is don't have a face, like Kathy said. You cannot tell. But let me read this to y'all, and because this just happened not too long ago here in North Carolina, and I just want y'all to understand that it has no gender either. North
Hmm.
Carolina man exonerated after 44 years of wrongful imprisonment to receive 25 million settlement. Ronnie Long. This is Ronnie Long's story. He was wrongfully accused and spent 44 years of his life in prison, and he got $25 million in the state here. And I saw the news. I seen it as it came on the news. I was watching TV, and the person came out, and it was a white man, a news guy. I don't know if no, he was probably a mayor. He worked in somewhere in the government, and they was so happy to free this man and give him some because of some type of evidence that wasn't presented in court, whether it was DNA, whatever. But he was wrongfully accused. So he was, and this is the thing. I know so many men that are victims too.
That is true, absolutely, and I'm not denying that. What my whole question, my whole point of it is that how is it that we're so adamant and so sure of by some videos or clips about what happened with someone that lived with someone for 6 years? I just think that, okay, you can have your opinion, but just to keep saying, oh, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. Because at the end of the day, if I was to sit here and tell y'all some things, you would say something different. If Amora was to say some things, it would be totally different. So, and I'm going to just keep that in house. I just really wanted y'all opinion on that. I really don't got a lot of time to say. I just
Right,
really wanted to see what y'all wanted to say about that. Y'all know I don't want to. I ain't never going back and forth with nobody.
right,
You
right,
ain't never
right.
got to worry
I
about
would
that.
I
I
would
ain't
like to answer
arguing,
your
fighting, or
question,
nothing with
Felicia.
nobody no more. That's done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We good with it, Felicia. I hope you understand my
That's done.
what we
Yes, I
saying.
am done.
Yeah,
And
we don't
Felicia,
want you to run off, Felicia. Go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I do have to get ready and go, but go ahead. I can listen.
Okay,
I,
I'm here. I'm here, you
okay.
guys.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna
Somebody
talk
coming in
quick.
gotta drop, gotta mute.
DM.
Okay.
I just had a quick question. This Rich. I just wanted to know, when you did tell your inconsistencies, was it to your family or was it to strangers? Did you really care about what strangers thought, or what strangers in your business or not in your business at that time you was going through what you were going through?
You know why I told a lot of inconsistencies to everybody? Because I was ashamed. Because I was ashamed about what was happening to me, because of the woman who I thought I was and the things that I allowed him to do to me. I was ashamed. So I told lies to family, the police, the courts, everybody.
Okay.
understand that.
Hello?
And I have a
Hello?
question
DM.
as well.
Hold on, Floria. Give us one
I just
second.
wanted to ask, or I shouldn't say ask, but say for me, this is True Slayer Felicia.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Good. Well, I just wanted to say, for me, and from the beginning, I didn't believe her only because I had certain thoughts and feelings about her from just following them for, the years. And I just was, I really liked the truth, right? So at first I didn't automatically believe her. And then for me, it was the antagonizing of her alleged abuser that really made me not believe her, because I'm like, well, who does that? Like you were saying that you told lies, inconsistencies, you did these things to either protect him because you were afraid of him or whatever unfortunately was going on. So I'm like, well, we watched a video of her putting her hands on him, right? And I'm like, well, who just antagonizes their abuser, trying to take his whole reputation down and do all of these things publicly? If this man is really physically abusing her, like if it were me, I would be afraid of what would ultimately happen to me behind doing that. So how do you feel about a victim or a survivor that antagonizes their abuser?
I would say that we've all done it. I would say that we don't know what we are doing until we're in that situation, because everybody's situation is different.
Can
So
I,
you
can I,
don't know.
Hold on,
I'm
let
sorry.
her finish, y'all. Please don't jump her. Don't jump her. Let her get her thoughts out. Go ahead.
Everybody's situation is different on how they handle their abuse and who they share their abuses with. That doesn't mean that it did not happen. Maybe because a person say because they don't have proof. And that's the part that's damaging to people that have been abused, because what proof do I need to show you that my head was split open? What proof do I need to show you that my back or my eye was blacked or my lip was big? So I gotta take a picture and show it to you for someone to believe me? That's a
But would you
serious
get
question,
but would
y'all.
you get on a public platform and disparage your ex-husband and do all of these things to him and his family, when he unfortunately did that horrible thing to you? Like and like you said, maybe it's unpredictable, it's individual to individual, but I just wanted to answer your question and share with you that really did it for me. That you doing a lot to be somebody abused, and like aren't you afraid that he might come back and unalive you or something behind
Right.
this? So
That's why I was going with my
that
question, Felicia, as well.
can I say something?
Hold on. We gotta
Kurt,
give everybody a chance. Lisa, give me 1 second. I want to get Floria in on the conversation.
yeah, I
Um,
wanted to say something.
Hello,
Go ahead,
hello,
Floria.
everybody.
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah,
Doing
we
well.
doing good.
Yeah.
good,
Um,
thank you.
DM, you've heard part of my story,
I have.
and the thing about it is that it's hard for people to believe that men can't be abused, and the reason why I start supporting LaTrue is because I told a story about my son being shot 7 times because a woman lied about him being abusive to her, and he was shot 7 times. He did die, but God brought him back. Number two, when you've been abused, I told a story about my ex-husband throwing snakes in the bed with me, threatening me, um, busting my lip, beating me, making me get on the dresser, dance naked, blood running down just all kind of stuff, praying, getting kicked off the porch, taking a sawed-off shotgun, beat me across my back with it. Now, I had one child from him. He found me 5 years ago on Facebook. And when I saw his face, I got scared all over again.
Right.
When I saw the words that he typed, will you forgive me? You didn't deserve that. I was scared all over again. A woman that has truly been abused by a man, you don't antagonize. You just don't do the things that you do because you're afraid. And to this day, my son is 34 years old, and I'm still afraid of the very presence of his father, the very presence of the picture on Facebook of him. You know, like I say, everybody has a story, but I'm a true survivor. I'm a true woman that's been abused, and I could never ever do the things that some women do, saying they've been abused, and saying that I'm a DV victim. It just don't happen like that.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why we have therapists and people that understands that type of thing. I'm not one. Um, so there's many reasons why there can be speculation in that, and we can get it wrong. Um, but nobody's story should not be believed. I just don't believe that either. But
Right,
go.
right.
But Miss Flora, your story is powerful. I told you that. Miss White, we got you on the panel. Come on, speak to us.
Okay, and I'm gonna be quick and get back down to
Okay.
Maud.
Um,
Mm,
I think True Slayer started kind of summing up what I really came up to say when she said when you're physically abused, you don't antagonize your abuser. And let me just say this: I'm
Yeah,
a,
that's a
I'm
fact.
a.
Go ahead,
That's
Miss
not
White.
me; it's somebody else.
Okay.
I'm a survivor as well, and I've often said that my abuse started from the time I was a child, and I watched my father beat my mom, and then I grew up, and chose the same type of man that from the environment that I was accustomed to. And what happens is we don't not only antagonize our physical abuser, but we don't antagonize our emotional abuser either,
mm,
Right.
even or our verbal abuser. We don't do that. Um, we will say things back, you know. Um, it's a thing. It's called fight or flight. And when we get pushed to a certain way, you're either going to fight back or you're going to run away, right? And we see that if there was fighting, that a lot of that came from her, from what we can see. Now, when this first happened, I was on the live that very day when she went live. I saw it. I watched this saga from beginning to end. But I followed them before the saga came. I followed them for a long time. And go back to videos before this infamous day. Go back to videos before that day. And I hone on all the time. It was a video when they went to, I want to say, Chili's or somewhere like that, Applebee's, and she was doing a prank on him. She was doing a prank, and he didn't know that it was a prank. Now, being that he didn't know, she did. So quite naturally, she's going to play her part.
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't what she was saying, but it was what he was saying. You always doing this.
Right.
mhm,
You always doing this, man. Man, we can't never. That's why we can't never go nowhere and be happy because your attitude. She knows it's a prank. He don't.
mhm,
So I was always mindful of little things like that before the fight. The day of that fight, I didn't take a stance on either one of them. I didn't believe him or her that day because in being what I do and
mhm,
even being in it myself, my first instinct, I said, they've been fighting. Notice I didn't say, oh, he hit her or she hit him. I said, oh, they've been fighting. But what made my decision for me was when she began to antagonize and taunt this man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew because it's not a face on it. It's just what you do. When I got certified to do counseling, my first place was in church. That's why I started with married people. And listen, you don't have, there's no more wolves in sheep's clothing than in the church. And you had more men and women fighting that were holy rollers in the church than outside in the street walking every day.
Mm.
And they could go sit on the pew and clean it up and cover it up like it was nobody's business. They're the first ones. They would dress that thing up and put a skirt on it and make it look real good to the point where you wouldn't know that they were fighting. And I'm just saying that to say I know it when I see it.
Right.
I know it when I see it. And this is not me trying to bash her or beat her up or any of that. A woman leaves 7 times before she decides to stay gone forever. That's what studies show us on average, right?
true.
So this is only one time that we know of. Let's say there were other instances behind the scenes.
Mhm,
Let's say there were other instances. Well, we know it was because it's been said that she's called the police on him before, and this has happened before,
mhm.
and all of this other stuff.
And another,
And
yeah.
my hold on, my mom of three. I know you probably from the other side. Listen, I just want to make sure you understand. We're not. We've moved on. We're just talking. And let me say this for Miss Floria that dropped down. I really want to hear your story on a whole nother day, where we can just spend time in it because I think it needs to be spoken. You have a powerful, powerful testimony.
She do.
A mom of three. This is the testimony. This is. I think there's healing going on in that marriage, within that couple right now. So we're just speaking. We're not here bashing.
Oh
We're
no,
just
no, I'm
speaking.
I'm only answering a
No, no, no,
question
no.
that was
It's a
was
chat. It's
asked.
something in the chat that I
Oh,
Well,
okay. So
this
I'm only answering that question
yes,
to give some
yes,
hindsight on it. So it's just how you move, how you react, the
yes.
things you do, you know, and even if you fight back, you don't want the fight. So you're gonna do everything you possibly can to have to keep from fighting. So because some women will fight back,
well
but they're
this
going to do everything that they can possibly do to keep themselves from getting in that situation.
and Miss
And
Correct.
when they fight back, it's only because they absolutely have to. They're
okay.
not going to pick, pry, and prone to get them there. And then, even with all that has been said and done throughout this saga, we now know that there was another relationship where there was real abuse. And see what we do as abused women when we get away, we go into isolation first.
Yeah.
We first go into isolation, but you went right into another one instantly, almost to say another one almost instantly. And even after it was exposed that there was real abuse in that, you still stayed. So
Miss
I'm going to say it's in this current relationship is where you're going to really learn and where you're going to really find out.
and
Absolutely. We
Miss
got Miss
Can
White,
Miss
I
White.
just ask?
remember.
I'm gonna drop down D Ham, but I just want to ask a question, and I know no one on this panel probably is going to answer. But if Felicia is still there or any Brianna supporters, at what point do we recognize a scorned woman?
Hmm.
Wow, that's a whole nother live, Rich Talk. You're gonna have to come back for that.
That's Miss Claire.
No, I mean
That's a
that's a good.
great
That's
question.
actually that's a really good question because
Oh my God, that's a really good question.
it's a good question
Well,
because it resonates. It really does resonate with what Felicia came up here and asked.
but that's
What
how
does
you
an
know.
abused person woman look like? Well, that is an important thing to be able to recognize. But I think, as Rich just presented, it's also important to recognize when we have a scorned woman, because oftentimes the result will come out with the gentleman that you just brought up, and I've been actually following that story, the Ronnie Long story, where
Ronnie Long.
you have men that are incarcerated for something that they have not done. I followed that guy, and I seen an interview with him, and it was so sad because he said that he was his mother passed away while he was in prison. She passed away 30 days before he was released. His
Yeah.
father last words were, "Is Ronnie home yet?" And then they throw $700,000 at him, and he said, "Well, that's not enough," and so they give him $25 million, and he still doesn't feel justified in that, because what is $25 million when I lost 40 years with my parents and my siblings, and I
Yeah.
don't know anything about the world. So you have men out here that are lied on as well. So just like it's important to recognize the signs of an abused woman, it's important to recognize the signs of a scorned woman, because a
Mhm.
woman's scorn can cause a lot of damage.
Yes.
We
Absolutely.
even have somebody. We
Absolutely.
even have somebody in this that was covering this saga, who is someone who has admitted to lying on a man and getting him incarcerated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah.
And
And,
when you
and
have
What I was just saying when
Okay,
before
yeah, I'm
Miss
gonna drop down. I love y'all, and D Ham, let me know when you want to cover that, cause I'll be up here.
love you too,
I'm bringing
All
y'all back
right,
for
Susan.
love
that.
you
I'm
back. Have a
bringing
okay,
good
y'all back
night.
for that.
okay. It
Y'all
was
got to
great
come back for
building
that.
with you. It was
Yeah.
great building with
I'm
you. And
gonna
All
get
right,
down
everybody enjoy their
to
night.
Jiham. I'm gonna go
yeah,
back in the
and
chat, but I just was gonna say, in all that I was saying, what the things that made me make my decision was only after I saw the signs of a scorned woman by the manipulating, the antagonizing, name calling, and things of that nature. Because we're women, and y'all know what we do: get us pissed off and see what happens. Men don't react that way. They're more physical. And I'm going to be honest, they're more physical. They're either going to get physical or they're going to shut down. They don't do that mean girl stuff.
Come
They
on.
just
Right.
men don't do that.
And
And when I
wisdom tells you, I'm sorry,
no,
I
I'm
got excited about
that's
what
it.
you were saying.
I'm going to get down. I was just going to
Okay,
say
Miss
they
White.
don't do
Thank you.
that. All right, guys, I'm back in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Go
I
ahead. Who was
wanted
trying?
to add
No, go
to
ahead,
when
Chatty
it comes
Cathy.
to, yeah, and speaking for me, I wanted to add when it comes to abuse, me personally, I never associated with that with the face, and I think multiple people can agree with that. There's no face of abuse, but the actions will tell itself, and we have to keep in mind when it comes to this particular entity. I'll say that we also have a past party that was alleged to have sucked pit bulls on children. Now, I don't know about you, but if I had a choice to choose my abuse, I'd rather you hurt me than my children. And I wouldn't personally be able to be cordial with the party that suck pit bulls on my children. They're fatal. A lot of people have lost their lives to vicious pit bull attacks. So I look at that in its entirety before I just started to make my content because I'm saying, well, wait a minute, this is a repeat situation, and not to bring Miss Amora back into it, but you have to also keep in mind again, this particular entity has many strong women that disassociated themselves from her. So you have to put some math in and begin to look at the common denominator. So we've now had a situation in which multiple parties have disassociated from you. And then we also have another situation in which alleged abuse took place, but yet this party is okay and took accountability. But keep in mind, children had pit bulls suck on them. I'm not making that up. I can only go by a woman's word because that's what we do, right? That was the whole premises of this conversation with we have to believe a woman. So when a woman says that a man sucked pit bulls on children, I believe that because who would lie about that? And I personally cannot have any sort of podcast about co-parenting with any horrible human being that would do so.
Come
Fact,
on.
fact,
That's
right
powerful.
there. And before she dropped, when she said that all women hit their abusers, but what I went through, I was too scared to raise my hand at him because he was very aggressive, very disrespectful, and I was scared to death of him. So not every abused woman do that. Hit men back. Because if you're that scared, you're not doing that. And another thing, I would never take away somebody else's story. That's their DV story. That's it. But I never would fight a man like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I was terrorized, and um, so that's what I'm saying with her. Her abuse story. When even when she told her story the other day, I broke down in tears just to hear her story.
Yeah, it's powerful.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was
So
powerful, and it
I
was
respect
like
it. I
when
respect her
she
coming
said
forward.
she saw as a young child, she witnessed behavior that took place, and that is a trauma. And this is why I say, as a grown woman, you had to go get some healing so that you be able, your story will never change, but you start to feel better about yourself. So what not to do in a relationship, or what you see in a relationship, you can go, pew, I'm out. So you have to heal first. And when I heard her, and I said that, before that, I said, "Oh man, she seems to be so angry. I feel like she never healed from that." I said that way before, and when she came out with the story, I could relate, but you still have to heal. That's it. I would never take away her story.
Okay,
Anybody.
I want to get upper response because she
That's it.
dropped down and came back up, so she must got something to say. And then we're gonna go to Truth
That's
Slayer
it.
and back
Nothing
to
against
Chatty
that
Cathy.
lady.
Go ahead, upper.
Nothing against her.
No, I really don't have anything else to contribute to that particular topic. I keep seeing somebody. I mean, I keep seeing somebody in the comments saying that they're not particularly talking about Brianna. However, they said every woman is different. You can't speak for all women. And she said, the person said, well, she did say Robert abused her, so why would she lie about abuse? So I don't, my thing is, I just think that it's important, like I stated before, that we, I don't know if you guys remember that Super Scent story that came out. I covered it, like I did a live
Yeah,
on Super Scent,
yeah,
and I was adamant on we have to believe what she's saying because there has been no evidence presented that she's not being honest. But the thing that I liked about what Super Scent did do is that she came back and she said, you know what, I did I kind of exaggerated. It was like a mutual thing. We were, both going at it. And I
yeah.
came out because I was angry and I didn't want the relationship to end. And, I made it seem like it was worse than what it was. So I think that it is important to also not just recognize that we need to believe a woman when she comes out and says she's been abused. But I also think that it's important, like I stated before, that we recognize that sometimes some men are innocent and it can be very detrimental and dangerous to just believe someone when they say that things have happened to them because sometimes it's a revenge type of thing where it's something that they're doing because they're angry that the relationship is ending. And like I said, uh I followed them both before all of this DV thing came out. And I don't know if everybody else followed them, but if you pay attention to the timeline, right before this story came out, they were having issues within their marriage. Um,
Yeah.
she went live. She went live at one point, and she said uh, that they were having issues. Then Robert went live, and then Robert said, "Well, she thinks that a woman at the airport was or a woman at the airport must have contacted her on one of her social medias and said that she saw me with a woman." And then she came out and said that he came out and said he wanted to be separated. And she came out and said that they're not going to be separated. It's not true. And it was very obvious that they were going through something within their marriage. And then maybe a week or so later, the DV thing happened where
Right.
she claimed that DV was involved. It is very possible that the marriage was coming to an end and it angered her to where she felt like she was going to, oh, I'm going to destroy you before you leave me. Now, all I'm saying is, because I know there's some of her supporters in the chat, all I'm saying is that these things do happen. Women
Right.
do this.
Yeah.
So I want that to be acknowledged as well.
Right.
It's a great point.
Thank you, Upper.
Yeah.
You got an echo somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We got
So
an echo.
I'm gonna drop down. This was a great a great conversation. I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna continue to listen from the chat. Thank you for letting me up, D Ham, and thank you everybody
Girl,
on the panel.
awesome. Thank y'all.
All right, Upper.
Have a good night.
I don't know who
Good
echo that
night.
is. True Slayer, come on. Talk to us.
I'll make two quick points. I really appreciate y'all. I have so much respect for y'all, great minds. This is a great conversation, and then I'll drop down as well. Um, and I want to respectfully say this. Well, first of all, let me clarify. Did Felicia say that, all women hit the abusers back? Did
I
she
don't
say
know.
that, or did
I
some?
don't know if we can hold
Yeah.
her to
Yes. Yeah. She said
every
that.
word.
Okay,
I don't
Yeah.
know.
She
She was
said
just
no.
speaking in general.
Dham. She did say that. She
Okay.
did.
okay.
Okay,
I
I
want
didn't
to
hear it.
clarify that before I say what I was going to say. Thank you.
Okay.
That Okay, so if every woman hits their abuser back, then every DV victim should have receipts. And we're not gonna have that, and I'm not saying a DV victim is not a victim if they don't have a receipt. But I think if you say everything is individualistic, it's situation to situation. It was said on here, listen, I would never have hit him back. And she's saying, well, all women do hit them back. So again, we back to the individualism of that experience. So I just wanted to say that, like, no, I don't think you have to have receipts for it to be true. But if all women do that, and we just heard a woman say she never would think to do it, then we can assert that you need to have a receipt. And then the other thing I wanted to say, especially when you're screaming it to the degree and to the extent that this particular lady that we discussed did. I mean, you screaming like that, you need a receipt if you're bringing it to a internet. And then lastly, I just wanted to say, another thing for me was the marrying him twice. That, if I ever had a doubt, because I understand money was spent and things like that, but when you're trying to get away from somebody, okay, so let's say he was physically abusive. She married, they had a renewal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
in my mind, that means that you are a very sick woman that needs some help. If you would just do that thinking that, you know, I'm going to stay here and continue to be physically abused and let my kids witness it, and I'm going to marry him and spend $50,000 and marry him again. So something is very wrong with you. I mean, I'm saying that to say, like, you really need to get some help, or it didn't happen.
Okay.
It's just, to me, it's just that simple. Something is wrong with you, or the abuse did not happen because you already married to him. Seems like you'd be trying to get away and not spend $50,000 to keep him. And I digress.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And
Right.
I'll add to that. I'll say this was, as a woman, it was very, very hard for me to come forward and admit that I don't believe a woman's story. And I think that's what a lot of, the people that support her or, change their mind and don't support her, you have to understand as women, it's in our nature to want to congregate and build that sisterhood and rally up against a fellow woman. And I'll still stand today and speaking for myself and myself only and not tying anybody else into my thoughts. I do not believe the extent of what she presented and the abuse was what she portrayed it to be. And as
Right.
I said a year ago, I think it was a toxic relationship and those parties are not suitable for one another. But I will never believe what she presented in its entirety with not only one mate but two mates, and then a third mate with accusations that was protected
That we
tremendously.
did
And to
see.
me, that
Yeah.
is the sign of actual abuse to go that far and that extent to protect someone. But I'll digress on that situation. But as a woman, it was very hard to come to that conclusion. But I'll never believe what was presented in its magnitude. Fearful for my life and children, fearful for their lives. Unfortunately, as a woman, I had to come to that conclusion, and I'll never believe that story in its entirety.
And
Thank
that
you, Miss. Thank
I
you, Chatty
Agreed.
Cathy. Thank you
Agreed.
so much for
I
that.
agree with that
Y'all
because
helped me down tonight. Miss
yeah.
Lisa, you got any final thoughts?
Well, all I want to say is that abuse is abuse, and we don't have to always present things, but what the young lady brought to this internet made me come to some kind of like something is not right, because to see that you can blatantly just walk past a man, if he the type of abuser that I had, there's no way I could have been on the phone. There's no way I could have walked by and been like, okay, I'm going down the steps. There's no way. So she had a lot of holes in her story, and I'm saddened because there are a lot of women fighting out here, and to make up a story as that bothers me. And I'm all right because I have to tell my story, and she's gonna pay for that. And I really think she need to denounce, tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. But we will never get that because it's sad, that you played on people's tops that really went through that. That's all I'm saying. And I
I
hope that
appreciate it.
she get the help that she needs. And that's
I
it.
appreciate it. I appreciate it, girl. Y'all are amazing women. I mean, I don't know. I would do this live for another 4 or 5 hours if I didn't. If it just didn't want to let the night get away from me.
Yeah.
Um, wow. I'm just blessed. I mean, thank y'all. We're gonna do this again, and I'm gonna spend all day. I'm gonna try to organize something with Chatty Cathy or some upper, and we're gonna figure this out where we can really just have candid conversations because who knew that this live was gonna go this route? You know, when I do a pop up live and it's just have this kind of impact. And it even brought Felicia up here and Miss Floria. So those two women, I think their stories got to be heard, and it can't be connected to this situation where people think we're just talking about Brianna. I think we just need to hear their individual stories. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
thank y'all so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. And I just want to
Thank
say,
you.
I'm gonna exit and drop down. I want to say, I, my opinions are that of my own. Whether the host, our brother Dham, agrees or not, that's up to him, to say. But I hope that moving forward, we can understand that when we have guests on panels, that the host is not held responsible for anything that other parties say. So I want to say my thoughts are my thoughts alone. Do not hold him accountable if I said something that someone disagrees with.
Right.
He's not responsible for that. So I hope everyone can understand that. Deham, I want to say that you are an amazing man.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And thank you for an introvert like me allowing me to speak because I actually only speak when I'm comfortable. So just letting you know, thank you for
Thank you.
allowing
Thank you,
me
Chatty.
to.
You made this panel what it was. So
Yeah.
your presence calmed the room. I ain't gonna lie. You when you grabbed that link, I knew it was gonna be a calm, intellectual conversation.
Always,
And
always.
Truth Slayer, girl, it's up with us, girl. You are an
Yes,
amazing
and
woman too.
thankful,
Thank you so
and
much.
thank you to all the
She be
amazing
up here
women.
slaying the
Yeah,
truth. Truth
yeah,
slay the
Man,
and
she coming
slay
with it.
the
You
other
got your
way.
own channel,
right.
Truth Slayer?
Slay
I
that
do.
truth.
I do not.
Girl,
Uh,
you there. You man, good grief. I mean
Yeah,
you gonna have to come share the panel with me next time.
yeah.
I would
Yeah, and I
love
just
to. I would.
wanted to
I would be.
add.
I would be honored. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm just over here gallivanting with y'all on y'all stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I appreciate, and I've gotten some love developed for each and every one of y'all. I appreciate you appreciating me. I'm gonna drop down and I
Okay.
think it was whoever that was getting ready to speak. I'm sorry. Y'all
It's
have a
fine.
wonderful evening, and we'll do this again.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes,
Chatty,
sir.
Yes,
you
All
know it.
right.
I'm gonna reach out to you,
and
Chatty. We gonna put some things together because it's necessary. Whether we do it on this platform or yours, I'm wherever you want to be because this was
yes, sir.
necessary.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you
And
so much.
thankful to all the other amazing women that came up and spoke and amazing minds. And I think you guys are all amazing. To that, I'll say believe half of what you hear and none of what you see, y'all. And always
Amen.
stay true to you. So thank you, brother.
Okay.
Okay, Kathy.
Yeah, yeah,
Love.
yeah.
Bye,
Miss Shawn is in the
Auntie.
building. Why? How I miss her? Tell her come up. Tell her come up.
And DM,
Yes, baby girl.
how are you today? How was work?
Wonderful.
Okay. You got some sleep.
I'm good.
All right now, that's all I wanted to hear.
I'm good. I was able to make peace and I'm at peace.
All right. That's important.
Absolutely. I'm at
Yeah,
peace.
yeah, I'm
Miss
happy.
Shawn, you more than welcome to come up, girl.
Miss Sean.
Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed you. You gotta alert me when you come in my chat so I know I don't let the comment get past me.
Yeah.
Come on up, Miss Shawn.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Such a healing live, peaceful. This is what unity looks like. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
That's it, Miss Lisa. We've been through a lot in this storyline, and
Yeah.
um and
Yeah.
and and, it, and, it, and let me say this for all the bush watchers. You're welcome to come out of the bushes. D Ham ain't scared, and we ain't got no problems. Your leader, Miss Amora, came out and said something. She said that let me welcome Miss Shawn. Miss Shawn, I'll say my thought. I'll say my thought. Y'all just stay to the end, the bush watchers, because I'm just want to just make something make sense. That's it. Go ahead, Miss Shawn. We got you in the
How
building.
you doing, babe?
How you
How are
doing?
you?
Hey y'all, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Hey, is Chatty still? Oh, she left. Okay, listen.
She
Hey
left.
DM, hey
Hey,
Lisa.
hey, young lady.
Babe, how you?
All right, so I actually I'm so sorry, y'all. I actually just tuned into your live DM, so you didn't miss me. I just came into the chat and listened to it, and of course I would have grabbed the link earlier.
Okay.
Um, So I know y'all already, to the end. I don't want to elaborate because what I would have to say would have to require a lot of elaboration because like I said, when I came into the saga, my reasoning for not straying toward, like, I don't support either party, and I made that very clear, but I do support evidence. That's what I support. I support what the evidence look like. And just based on my perspective, the only reason why I wouldn't go off behavior. And I think a lot of people are basing their thoughts and their reasoning of why they believe or didn't believe was because of Rihanna's behavior. And I get that. I get that. It makes sense. But me personally, I didn't base it off her behavior. I based it off of one, when she first came in, okay, first she said I was abused physically. Okay, if this young lady walked into my office and said, hey, listen, my husband abused me, the first thing I'm going to ask her, okay, what happened, blah, blah, blah. Um, what would not make her credible? One, the inconsistencies in the story. That's one red flag. Your story is inconsistent. I could never represent somebody whose story is consistently changing. That is a red flag for me. Okay, all right. So what else do you have? I have physical evidence, and this is just a role play, y'all. I have physical evidence. Okay, show me your physical evidence. What do you have? Because if you're claiming physical abuse, and this is physical abuse only, if you're claiming physical abuse, I need to see physical evidence, which that means such as police reports, doctor's reports, pictures. That is what's going to support your allegations. So if you give me what you gave these people on social media, that does not prove physical abuse. It proves emotional abuse, and it proves, excuse me, y'all, a toxic relationship from both parties. That's all it proves. So that would automatically say, okay, you don't have enough evidence to say that this man physically abused you. Now, am I saying it didn't happen? I'm not saying it didn't happen. What I'm saying is you don't have enough evidence to say he did do it. And so you can't get on, and I'm a back Felicia 100%. And I'm going to say abuse does not have a blueprint.
Right.
Abuse does not have a face.
Uh-huh.
Abuse does not have rules that go with it, that you have to look like something, you have to walk like something, talk like something to say it's abuse. But what you do have is when she realized that her stories were inconsistent, that's where she should have stopped, because she could have said, hey, listen, my stories were inconsistent because I was trying to protect my abuse. I was trying to protect. That might have swayed me. That might have swayed me because that does happen. People do protect their abusers by telling lies and inconsistent. But you went on to say, no, I have physical evidence. So you led the people to believe that you were going to come out with more physical evidence. Well, the more physical evidence you came out with, the more it led to him not abusing you. That's what it is. Nobody's saying, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying you didn't prove it. That would be my side of it. I'm saying you didn't prove your story. That's what I think the truth supporters were trying to say. No, nobody can tell you what happened in your house. Nobody can tell you what you've been through. That's an accurate fact. But if you're going to bring it out on a public platform, or you're going to bring it out to the public, then you better have all your ducks in a row and be able to prove a serious allegation such as that when you do come public with it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to anybody. If you're going to do it and you're going to bring people in and you're going to have all these people supporting you, then you better have all your ducks in a row. So the evidence presented by the wife's side was what was the key to proving that he did. It had nothing to do with what the truth said. For me, it didn't.
Right.
Right.
It had nothing to do with what he said. It had nothing to do with his behavior, nothing to do with his action. It had everything to do with the evidence that she presented. That's what it had to do with. And let's hit on another point, then I'm going to drop down. What was said was the police was constantly and consistently called throughout the marriage for abuse. Let me make this clear. If the police show up at your house and you have claimed that your partner or whoever has committed domestic violence in your home, and the evidence, the police can see abuse, can see the abuse, guess what? The state is picking the case up. They're automatically taking the person to jail.
Come
They're
on.
automatically taken. So it doesn't matter if you backtrack, change your story, try to do this. If there is evidence of physical abuse when the police come knocking at your door, that person's going to jail. It don't matter how many times you cry and say, no, no, no. If you call the police that many times and they show up at your door and they see evidence of physical abuse, that abuser is going to jail. Period.
Yes, yes, yes,
Period. So you
Sean,
got police. I'm
yes.
Sean,
sorry.
before you stop talking, it's a question somebody asked and I pinned it and I need you to address
Okay,
it.
I can't. What does it say? Because
I'll
I
read
can't
it
hear
to
you.
you. D Ham, last night there were Robert supporters on YouTube spinning the narratives that Robert lied about being divorced because the website still say pending. Please ask Miss Sean to
Oh
speak
my
on that,
God.
please.
Are you serious right now?
Okay, so yes, I did hear about that. I did hear about that narrative being spent. And I have got on the panel. If you follow my channel, I've got on here twice and explained how public records work. Whenever, anytime, let's say you have a court case, or let's say in some instances, in some divorce where you do not have to go to court and the papers are signed off on the back end, that does not mean the public records are going to show up immediately. It could take days, it could take weeks. It is going to say pending until the clerk of court update the records. That's it. It's been saying pending since he filed the divorce. It's going to continue to say pending until the clerk of court decides to update the records. And that's up to them. Y'all got to understand, Georgia is a huge state. Brianna and Robert's divorce is not the only divorce out there. It's probably 100 more divorces going on. It's probably so much time that they have to update those records. So, only thing I have to say to people who constantly keep pending up those public records, that it takes days, sometimes weeks, to update anything in those public records. So please don't present that as, oh, see this, see that, see this. No, at all, because some people can have their paperwork and be gone, and if you look in public records, it says pending. I've had clients to where maybe a small misdemeanor or something like that, they done already resolved their case, they going on, but if you look in public records, guess what it's saying? Pending. It's
Right.
gone, and that's because the records are not updated. So that's
Let,
what people need to keep in mind. Do not present that
I,
as clarity, because it's not clarity.
I would like to know these not the person who's asking this question. I believe your question is very real about getting Miss Sean to speak on it so she can clear some things up. But I would like to ask a question for whoever is out there trying to present this narrative. Do you think the court of Georgia or in the state of Georgia in the court will be concerned about a LaTruth saga and play games with their court system for the saga's sake? For the sake of the saga? Do you think that if it's in the court system, you think that they're playing manipulative games with the truth? We got
Yeah.
to be real about that. Go ahead, Miss Shaw.
No, you made a very, I'm sorry, y'all. You made a very, very good point. So, I see that, and I wasn't going to speak no more on it because no matter what you say and how much truth you present, people, and it's been known throughout the saga, no matter what you say, people are going to spin the narrative the way they want. Now, like I've said so many times before, you think I'm going to come on here and tell something about something that has to do with something legal and lie about it and put my reputation on the line? No, I think not. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is to tell you how it works in public records. If it's not updated immediately, your priority to this the true saga is not their priority. Okay, your importance and how you think this Brianna LaTruth thing is so important, they don't see it as that. They just see it as another couple who just got a divorce. That's it. That's all.
Thank you, thank you.
Right.
And April, I wasn't talking to you when I responded, but go ahead, girl. I would like to get your. That was your question.
No, I know
Watch,
that you weren't
watch your
talking
background.
about me.
Okay, I can
Oh,
hear you.
okay, hold on, let me mute it. Hold on.
That was April's question, Miss Shawn, and she's on the panel with you now.
Okay.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I asked that question because I found myself, and I know that we should not, be trying to defend, them anymore, but I am just a Latrue supporter, and I kind of, if people are gonna put the narrative out there, there's so many lies that are already circulating, which is what caused, the beef between everyone. And so when I literally stumbled upon that live last night, and so when I saw it, and I was in the chat stating he didn't lie about that. He was, the it's a delusion of marriage. And so kind of to Miss Sean's point, I've listened to you actually say the process can be, there are so many different things that can take place within a divorce, but the main things would be, custody and child support, right? So you get those things out of the way, and then you may have to keep resolving other issues, but the judge will grant the divorce on the day, right? So, and I kept like saying, I'm a divorced person. I divorced my husband. It took months, like 6 months, before I actually received my decree, like the divorce decree, because we had things that we need to work through. And and then they were like pulling up all kind of screenshots. It's still up on YouTube. Like, I'm like, I wish they would take that down because it's a wrong narrative. And so it just was so frustrating. So Miss Shawn, when I saw you in DHAM's live tonight, I was like, yes, because I know that you can
Yes,
speak to that. So that's why I asked that
absolutely. She
question.
just broke it down.
No, it's okay, April. I understand. But yes, I was privy to that. I was privy to that was going on, but I'm not about to go in nobody's live and try to, I don't, I'm not about to do that. Now, DM, I respect DM, and I hear the perspective, so I will get on, but I'm not going to about to crawl up on nobody's panel and or try to debunk something that doesn't make not a bit of sense. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I
Especially when,
do, yeah.
yeah, I'm not going to do that. So
But
it's
but
just,
but we're glad you was able. You give us clarity, and
Yeah.
if people
Mhm.
like April has something that she just want to make certain of how the court system work, you're probably now our
absolutely.
go-to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you asked me, April, and it's no problem. I know I'm glad you asked, and I'm more than happy to ask them. If somebody comes to me and asks me that, I'm more than willing to answer, but I'm not going to go searching. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I get where you're coming from. You won't
Mhm.
insert yourself, with an
Right.
with an unsolicited, question. So I totally get that. I was just like, oh my gosh, okay. So because I was like, where's Michelle? I don't want to ask her. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for gracious,
Oh,
just kind
you're
of shedding the light
welcome.
on that.
Thank you,
All
Absolutely.
right,
April.
I'm
It's no
gonna.
You
problem.
welcome anytime, April. Thank you so
All
much.
right, good night. Thank you. I'm in the chat, but I just wanted to ask that. Bye bye.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Okay.
It's it's my pleasure. Like I said, I don't want anybody to think that I don't mind. I really, really don't mind. If you come to me and ask me a question, I'm going to be very honest with you and give you the best of my knowledge. But I'm not going to go, yes, I was privy to all of that. I'm privy to a lot of stuff. It's
Yeah.
just that, you know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
don't insert myself into anything. This, we're talking general about the saga and why some people feel that if she was guilty or not guilty, and I just kind of wanted to give it from a different perspective of why I felt it. It didn't have anything to do with her behavior. It had
Right.
everything to do with the evidence presented
Evidence.
for me. That's
Yeah.
only for me. So that's really all I wanted to say to him.
Thank you,
Yeah.
girl. Hey. Whenever we in these jams, you better come up here now. We ain't playing now.
Well, listen,
We need to
DM,
know facts.
you're gonna have to come in and come and knock on my door and say, "Hey, Sean, we going live or something." Because listen, and doing so much stuff during the day, I don't even catch lives until the back end of it or something like
Catch
that.
me
So
through Miss White. Get with me with Miss White.
oh, absolutely. You already know.
So we can make that connection.
You already know.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good
Okay.
one.
All
Okay,
right,
Okay.
Miss
so
Lisa,
no
you got
good one.
any last words, Miss Lisa?
Well, no, I'm good.
Okay.
This was a
Thank
beautiful live, and
thank you, girl.
good night.
I appreciate you
All
too.
right, everybody
Love
in
you.
chat, love y'all. All
Love
right,
you.
okay, love you,
Okay,
Dean.
guys.
Okay, all
All
right.
right. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready in this live, but I'm gonna just say a few things real quick. I just want y'all to understand. When Miss Amore came out, she said we all been fooled, we all been played in a sense, and this live started based on that question. Were we all played? Was both sides played? And you see what God did with this live. It took a life of his own. Um, Man, the most powerful, intellectual women that covered this story came on my platform today, and that ain't had nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll get in trouble and start calling out the names, but thank God for upper echelon, Chatty Cathy, Lou Pop Baby, Miss Miss Sean came up here, vibe with Sean, Miss Lisa was up here, um, I'm about to get in trouble. Truth Slayer was up here. Who else was up here? I know Felicia. I'm going to give her a flower. Floria came up here. Um, Jesus, who else am I missing? I think I'm missing somebody. Who else did y'all see up here? Miss White came up here. Um, can't forget Miss White. But let me say this to Felicia. You're more than welcome on D Ham panel. Your story is very powerful. And when she first said that you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, Rich taught me to thank you, Jazzy Red. I knew I was missing her. Rich Talk was we coming back for Rich Talk had powerful question, man. We got to deal with that. When she first said that you don't know what goes on behind, I knew that was coming from a real place. See what I'm saying? You're able to see when people speak, you know when it's real. That is a real place of hurt that woman was standing in the gap for. And she made her platform based on that feeling of not her that experience. She understands it from that place of experience, and that does not go without saying or without anybody's uh ability to understand. You understand? I know where that place come from. I know. I know what hurt look like, y'all. She said, what do abuse look like? A lot of us know what it looked like. Not as in the individual, but from the pain. You know what it looked like. So you can tell that this woman has a testimony. Period. You just can't take that away. Because it's some pain there. And her testimony is going to free a lot of women. So Miss Felicia, thank you for coming. Miss Floria has a testimony. Miss Lisa has a testimony. And I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to get these women back on a panel. We can squash the Brianna talk. Squash that. And let's hear these women's stories. I think this is where the direction we have to go now. Because if we keep pulling back on who's right and who's wrong, then we're not going to hear what we need to hear. Now, this is my opinion on Miss Brianna. I think the woman is very powerful. Not just the way she was able to galvanize these women to run and do things for her, but I think she possessed some power. And I believe that God gave her something to actually use. But what I recognize in her is pain. I recognize the pain in her. And I seen it that it didn't start within that first year of the 6th year. It started years before it came to that. And the pain that we seen came out because of this covenant that was coming unglued. And also, it was toxic, and it was verbal, and it was the mind of it all, understanding that this is a man that she committed herself to out of all the men she ever looked at. This was the man she finally said yes to. If that, I don't know if any other men went down on one knee and said, "Will you marry me?" But this man did. So out of all the men that she dealt with, if there was a lot of them, a little, this man said, "Will you marry me?" And in marriage, there's a pain that only comes from being married. And this woman had a pain. And I'm telling you, a lot of you women who's out there can resonate with that pain because you've seen pain before. And I think it connected to traumas in life that people lived through, and it made them say, "Let me support this woman." Now, however the facts are, it's the facts. And a lot of people who goes to counseling can notice these issues before a woman somewhat open their mouth, and when they say one word, they can identify either it's childhood trauma or it is current things going on mentally that's making you feel this way. Or it is actually something you actually just experienced. They can literally break through these barriers of pain and trauma that women needs broken through. There has to be a breakthrough. And I believe that Rihanna's getting, if she gets in front of the right person, because I heard her say talking to a therapist is like talking to one of her friends. But I beg to differ. I believe if you get in front of the right therapist, you're going to feel the breakthrough getting ready to happen. You need to get in front of the right therapist that can break through some of these pain that you've experienced in your life to where you are overcome it. Not just go through it, you'll overcome it. And when you overcome it, you can tell your story and let people be blessed by it because they'll see themselves in your story. And I just believe that you got to get there and let God be the guiding light that leads you through your story and your testimony so it can bless the world. I believe she's powerful, and I believe it can bless anybody that hears her because her story is exactly what it is. Okay? I love y'all. And I would never, if I don't care who's the victim, man, woman, or child. If they are victims, they're victims. I'm not about to put a gender on it and say if a woman say it, it's automatically true. And I ain't gonna say, hey, if a man say he didn't do it, he automatically didn't do it. We got to make certain that we understand who victims are and hold them accountable, or hold the abuser accountable, period, on both sides of all three sides of the coin, however sides it is. We got to get to the real nitty gritty. Because if a man harmed a child, I need to be on him. You understand what I'm saying? If a man slapping a woman across the floor and dragging her, I need to be up on that. You feel me? I'm not accepting that type of behavior. So we cannot do these things, y'all. We cannot excuse behavior just because we are the same sex of that gender. We got to make sure we hold folk accountable for the things they do to people. Because if you put hands on a man, you should be held accountable to that as well. It goes all ways. And nobody's story should be dummied down. Nobody's story should not be believed. If a woman say it happened, and you can you may not even have all the evidence. If she said it happened, we should believe it, and we should get her to some help, and we should get that abuser off the streets. You understand what I'm saying? And that's real coming from D-Ham. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna go in the bushes and see what's popping on these YouTube streets. I love y'all so much. Be blessed, y'all. We're gonna come back and do this again. Rich Talk Media, we got a date. Upper Echelon, we got a date. Chatty Cathy, I need y'all up here. Luke Park, baby, I need y'all up here again. For real. Because this was something unbelievable that took place tonight. I need y'all to come in. I need to start the live early. I don't know what we're going to do. But this right here, this story has broke barriers. I'm telling you, it done broke people that out of their shells. people who would never come on YouTube to talk about nothing going on in their life had automatically came out of nowhere and wanted to add their 2 cents into this story and into this saga. And now we're tapping into their real life experiences. And that's what we're about to do. That's a fact. Let's get it.